Hello, 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 everyone. How are you? You are here on the Transatlantic Call-In Show on the line. We're here with Luxander and Josie. How are you doing, Lux? Are you muted?
I'm muted. Sorry. I was typing
Okay.
earlier and I didn't want it to come up on the screen. Anyway, no, yeah, I'm doing good. I was insomniac for the past week and I got some better sleep last night. So I only have a little bit of a headache today and I'm ready to yell at people.
Oh, good, good. Yeah, get out the grumpy sleep jitters on unsuspecting transphobes. That's always a fun
Exactly.
time. Yes, absolutely. Good time. Yes, we'll get them. And I'm Josie Caballero, and as a lot of you know, I am running for county council in Montgomery County in Maryland. And, I actually have some really good news to share with all of you. I actually got the teachers union endorsement for my race, which is a huge deal. Like, I mean, it is the most important endorsement in this race. It's the largest employer in the county, and the teachers want to stick it in the eye of all the conservatives that think trans people can't do stuff in schools. So let's make them lead. So this is a really good opportunity in my campaign. So I just wanted to share that happy news because it was people on this show, the folks who have donated to this campaign that help bring that viability into fruition for the teachers to trust me. So, and I also have a pretty awesome policy of making sure that teachers get paid no matter what. So, it's just,
Yeah.
the little things like, making sure that teachers can live where they work and all that good stuff. But yes, so if you are watching, make sure and you want to talk about anything trans or political, you can call in at 720-619-2288, or you can click the web link in the description. And yeah, call us. We'll have conversations about a lot of really good stuff. And we promise we won't bite your head off unless you deserve it. So we at
I
least
match
say that.
energy.
Yeah, we match energy. So we've had so many great conversations. So wonderful. So do you want to go into last week's poll before we get started?
Real quick before we do that, I do want to announce we have another LineCon coming up this weekend. I'm pretty sure that
Uh,
this one is available for free on Patreon instead of you normally have to pay for it. So this weekend, December 13th at 3 p.m. Central, you're going to see Matt Dillahunty, Jovan Bradley, and Alyssa Lube talking about various things. It's kind of like a little mini online conference. So 20-minute presentations and then 1 hour of Q&A afterwards. So again, if you can join our Patreon as a free member to see this one, usually it's $15 as like your membership fee, or like $5 to see the video on demand afterwards. You can get a $5 video on demand afterwards to see my talk from last month, but that's just between you and me. Yes, ready for poll.
and honestly, if we're talking about line stuff, I just got the sneak peek of the mugs that are actually going to be
Yeah,
for sale soon.
mug brawl.
I'm just gonna say elect the dolls, because that is gonna be my design. So just
Yeah.
remember that. But yeah, so it's gonna be a fun holiday season as you're gonna buy the most Josie design mugs. So that's how it works.
Or
I
if you're
mean,
on
mugs is
hashtag
great
Team
too.
Lux, there might be a hashtag Team Lux mug also.
Yes, yes, yes.
Or you can buy
Awesome.
one of each. Also an option.
Oh, yes, also an option. Yeah, absolutely. I thought you were about to like pull out your mug, and I was like, "How? How
Not
did you
yet.
beat the shipment?" Like,
I could have grabbed the one from last year, I guess, but no, this is
oh,
just me and my giant mug of green tea with ginger.
yeah. I would have last year's mug, but as soon as I got into the door in my house, I dropped it, the box,
No,
and then I opened it, and it was just fragments, and I was like,
no.
"No." I didn't even get to see it pristine any moment. It was just open shards everywhere. I was like, "No."
So sad.
It was a saddy thing. Great. So let's go ahead and jump into last week's poll. Do you think the anti-trans essay from Oklahoma was written with the intent to blow up into a national story? Not surprising, 80% said yes, and 20% said no. Lux, what are your thoughts?
I wrote this question. This was on me. If you have some issue with the way that it was phrased, it's my fault. I genuinely, fully, and completely believe that this was done with ill intent. And I recorded a video that's hopefully going to upload tomorrow where I go more in depth in my reasons and we read parts of the essay and we go over what the assignment was and how badly she didn't even bother to do the assignment. Yeah. And then I looked in the comments of this one as well. And in the comments, y'all were saying that of the 20% who said no, a lot of those comments were like, uh, I don't think she's smart enough to have done that, or like her mom actually wrote it, or maybe just genuinely some people thought that, like she just didn't do it for the specific purpose of a grift. But given the sequence of events, I do think that it was just like, yeah, let me try to get this trans person fired from their job, the teacher's assistant who graded the paper, and erode the concept of academia even further and become the next Riley Gaines. So that's my opinion.
I mean, yeah, it made my blood boil as somebody who like took academia very seriously. I know Forrest also did did a video on it,
I would
but
have been embarrassed to turn that in if I was in high school. The quality of
yeah,
writing too, just that was more offensive to me than her saying trans people are demonic.
yeah. I'm just like, wasn't even the word count, didn't cite a thing, used vibe the Bible. Like, I mean, I mean, to basically not even cite the Bible and vibe it, like it's like it wasn't even like
Yeah.
it. And the study they were supposed to review wasn't even about trans people. It was about bullying of like people not conforming to like gender norms. It wasn't even about trans
Cis
people.
kids.
So
Yeah, it had nothing to do with trans people at all. So,
no, it
ugh.
was about teasing and bullying. Like, oh my gosh, it was, yeah, it's an absolute embarrassment. And I'll say this will be last point on this. So, Oklahoma apparently the legislature passed some type of thing saying this is truth, right? Like they said the essay was truth. If I was an Oklahoma Democratic lawmaker, I would cite that essay in every Republican argument that they make. It'd be like, this is what you consider true. Like, it's just this random, bad written, poor essay. It's like, yeah, it's like, this is what you believe. This is what the entire Republican legislature in Oklahoma thinks. So I
Yeah.
guess this is what you have to stand by. Defend it, please. Like, I would just make them do it over and over and over, like, just constantly. I just put on the
Yeah.
record the Republican essay on what they consider truth as one of their arguments. But I'm petty and I like to be extra nerdy with committee
Listen,
stuff. But
let us all find within us the pettiness of 50 Cent this year. This upcoming 2026, let's let the pettiness of 50 Cent live in our heart, okay?
yes, that is absolutely fair. So with that, let's go ahead and take our first. Oh, first before we get to the call,
Polls.
this week's
Yeah.
poll: is it realistically possible to enforce anti-trans bathroom bans? Love this question. We ask it to our callers all the time when they try to say, "How do you enforce such things?" So excited to see how the chat votes on this, and we will see. So let's go ahead and go into our first caller. Just gonna take a look here. Let's see. You just want to
Doesn't look
go
like
with
we
the
have
first
anything
call?
spicy yet.
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
just
we
go
can
with the
just take them in
first
order
call
for
that
now.
came in. All right, first. We will take I think it's Knock. He,
Enoch,
him,
actually.
Enoch, I apologize.
Oh, no worries, no worries. It's
So
okay.
yeah, so you want to talk about the looking at things, being well-meaning allies about staying in your lane. So what in specific? What do you want to talk about?
I'm going to be a little selfish here. And am I on with, is this Lux and Josie this week?
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Great to hear from you guys. Also, all the best to Arden. I understand she had a loss. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. Yeah, I've got something of a personal issue I want to sort out. I'll abridge this as best as possible. I don't want to derail the show. But short of it is, I am a person of color married to a white person in the United States of America. We have some family overseas in Europe. My spouse's sibling is also white, but that sibling has a trans spouse. Now, we all have a great time together, but the big issue that we're having right now is dealing with visits because it's not, well, the type of person of color I am is prone to, let's say, what's the word, profiling with local law enforcement. And I also happen to fall into an ethnicity that is, what can I say to not get you guys thrown off the air, where local migration enforcement might have a few extra questions if you guys know what I mean.
Sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, and because, so they're foreign, obviously, also, so that brings up some issues. And then there's some obvious safety issues with the spouse, or the spouse's spouse being, the sibling spouse being trans, right? So, you know, when we've gone to places that are a little high risk before, my other sibling-in-law, the spouse that's married in, and we both have a pretty mutual understanding. If we see a spot that's a little suspect, we look at each other and said, yeah, we're too dark and too queer to be here. We are going to, we know this is going to go bad. We know when something's going to go bad. So we're very much on the same wavelength as one another, if that makes any sense. But there seems to be an ongoing kind of back and forth with our spouses about who's safer where. And you know, not to be biased, but I do have a bias. I'm a little biased towards my spouse. Not that my sibling-in-law isn't wonderful. I love them so much. It's just like having another sibling in my family. I'm having a great time, just to be clear. But they have a pretty strong bias towards their spouse not being the least safe, as opposed to the safety there. Again, I'm very much on the same wavelength as my sibling-in-law and myself. We both know, hey, you know, one of us, anywhere we go, one of us is going to be a little too queer and trans. The other one's going to be a little too dark and not. We know what's going on. We know what to expect. We've experienced this for a large portion of our lives, so we know what's going on. But the big thing is just trying to get our spouses, especially the sibling-in-law, to kind of stay in their lane, like very well-meaning. That, you know, it's nothing but love there, obviously, and concern for safety, but also at this point we both experienced it. We know what the discrimination's like, and we kind of feel like we can set those thresholds without the back and forth arguments about who's safer where and so on and so forth. Does that make sense? I know that was a lot. That was a big download.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Lux.
I mean, it's tough where all of these different types of oppression kind of operate similarly, but in a distinct way. So like, yeah, like I am like, okay, I'm white and like, yeah, I'm gender nonconforming and stuff. And that is something that could potentially be dangerous, but I literally moved to Oregon so that I would have less of a problem with that. And I live in an area where there are a shit ton of Hispanic people and a shit ton of ICE now, like in the area. So like there have been several cities in the valley who have declared a city emergency because of the activity in the neighborhoods and stuff. So I would err on the side of like, yeah, the person who's brown is probably at a higher risk just overall in this country, like all over the country, whether it's in liberal places or in conservative places. Like how do you communicate that to someone is a different question, I guess, especially if you're trying to call someone out, but in a way that they are not going to be reactive. Right. So that is always troubling. But if you're just like, listen, you know, we navigate these situations and I appreciate that you care a lot and, you know, that you're trying to help protect one or the other of us and everything. But like, can you let us have some autonomy in ascertaining for ourselves what situations are going to be safe or not? I guess just to stress that, like, you have the experience, the two of you have the experience to rely upon. And for them, having not had the experience, they don't have the same kind of pattern recognition that you have, where you're like, I see this, that, and the other, and I know I cannot walk down that street. Just like women do. Like, women make that calculation even if they're not trans or not brown or whatever. It's like, oh, nope, I see that person standing there and that person standing there, and I am not going to walk this way. I'm going to cross the street. So yeah, that's what I would appeal to.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. And is there anything like specifically, like, I know there's a lot of intersectionality, right? But can you give me maybe a specific thing that you would be curious in kind of approaching on this? Because I think, Lux covered the whole idea of intersectionality and how these things are all different and have different layers to them. But yeah.
It's a tough one, honestly. I think the big thing mostly for me at this point is phrasing. Um, just phrasing and seeing if we can eliminate it. I'm officially not supposed to know about this information. It's something that kind of got vented to me. So I apologize. I probably shouldn't be doing this on national TV, but here I am. Um,
No
yeah, no, that
worries.
that was that is dumb. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm being awful.
No, no, don't feel bad at all. I think there's just so much going on right now, and we're all trying to grasp at what is the things that we need to be doing. Especially with, even right now, currently, Marjorie Taylor Greene, her last shot out of Congress is going to try to redefine the female gender mutilation bill, or whatever, anti-female mutilation bill, to include all trans people. And it's a really trash thing, and it's so bad that it's probably not going to even get close to passing anything for real. But that's like the parting shot. Like, she talks about,
Right.
oh, I'm being so abused, I hate it, Republicans are being mean to me, MAGA is trying to commit death threats on me. And it's just like, but before I leave, let's go ahead and take another shot at one of the most marginalized people in the country. Is also infuriating. You also have what Trump has been saying about Somali people, and just saying the most horrific stuff, probably the most racist things he's actually said ever in this, as president, like, which is hard to say. It's like when you rank all the things, but the way he's saying Ilhan married her brother, and saying that they're just like, they want to get them all out, and like, it's all, everything all at once. And so when we're living in the world of where we are, like, I literally saw a woman that was a trans Brazilian woman, looked very similar to me, like, get taken in Montgomery County, like like a month ago, 2 months ago, here,
Oh,
from
that's
ICE. And
horrifying.
I'm just like, and I'm just like, oh my God, like, it's a very scary thing. And what we got to do is we just got to have solidarity, and do what we can to defend everybody, because they're coming after all of us. And what we can do is just stand with each other. And right now, it's not time for a pressure Olympics. It's time to just try to, keep keep us all safe, and hold your loved ones close, especially as we go into this holiday season. But no, I appreciate you bringing up this topic, as it is incredibly hard right now.
Yeah, very much. Yeah, that was the word I was looking for. Comparative suffering, and it's a very difficult thing to address, especially with people who are otherwise totally willing to, if nothing, die for you and put everything on the line. There have been great instances where my sibling-in-law has, for lack of a better term, has been hey, I'm the white lady here. I'm going to do this. You're not going to do this to my sibling-in-law. You're not going to do that to my
Yeah.
spouse. And she's used the privilege, positively, I'd like to say. in service of just us and our children and all. And it's a wonderful sort of thing. It's just really hard to go back. Like when one of your closest allies is creating a little bit of a problem and you want to have it solved, but also you're like, they'll do anything for me. And it really feels bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a little bit of an overstep, right? So just creating some kind of...
we're not upset. We know it's coming from a place of love. It's just how to address it has been where I've really been struggling.
Yeah, I mean, start with that acknowledgement. Like, I love you very much, and I really appreciate that you are here to stand up for me. And there are situations where the direction that you take it makes me uncomfortable or takes away my ability to speak for myself or whatever the situation is. So, yeah, if you, it's like a compliment sandwich. It's like positive lead up, slight criticism, positive ending, and that you're not trying to reduce the amount of time that you spend together or anything like that, but just that the way that those situations are being navigated, you would be more comfortable if it was being handled slightly differently, I think is probably the best route to take.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you, Enoch. I appreciate your call.
Thank you both. Yeah. And sorry if I got a little too emotional or weepy. Again, it's people I love a lot, so it's a lot to think of. I really appreciate y'all's advice, though. It means a lot to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Stay safe out there.
All right. Yeah,
been a pleasure.
Sure.
Take care.
Bye. Okay. And if you are, I know. If you are out there and you want to, contend with the fact that everything that's happening to trans people deserve what's happening to us, please call in. If you agree that Marjorie Taylor Greene's parting shot in the House is a good thing, call in. If you think that bathrooms, if you can enforce trans people staying out of bathrooms without it being obnoxiously large government, please call in. We'll love to have a conversation with you. Or if you don't, if you think gender and sex are the same, there's so many things that y'all could talk about. So call in. The lines
there were people being
open.
nasty in the chat. You should call in.
I know there were. Let's go. We're not afraid of you. If you don't have to be faceless, you can just come in. Say you could stay faceless. Just come and talk to us. Great. So we will just go down to the next one down the list here. We'll go to Kitty Tick, and she, they pronouns from Oregon, wants to talk about anti-trans legislation harms. Hey, how are you? You are live on the line.
Well, how are you?
Good. So what do you want to talk to us about?
So I was just, I've been thinking about it a lot, but the main...
Can you mute us, by the way? I can hear us in the background. Sorry, can you mute us? I can hear myself in the background.
Let me mute the other thing. Sorry about that. I forgot.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, there we go.
All right. Go on.
Anywho. So the main people that are affected by anti-trans legislation will always be gender non-conforming people, not even generally real non-binary people, just people that dress atypically are going to be most affected by most anti-trans legislation because people think those people are trans because a fully transitioned person, it's pretty hard to tell.
Yes, it is.
And then
go ahead.
What were you saying? No, what were you saying?
No, go. Oh, no, I was going to agree with you, but it sounded like you wanted to say something else. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of one of the main things that it's also doing is it's really erasing the commentary about how there is a lot of frustration with the gender binary in America because we're still focusing on the binary of trans people and arguing about how we need to protect the kids, which statistically there are less than 1 million trans children in the United States of America at the base 1% statistic, because that's 3 million total, and we're close to 4 million now. But annually, in the total for all football playing, there's around 1 to 2 million football-related injuries. Most of those are below college because most football players are not in college or above. A vast majority of people who play football are children.
Mhm.
Heat-related deaths last year for football were 7 in August alone. And that's
Yeah.
just heat-related deaths. There were multiple head-related injury deaths last year as well. In under 18 children dying playing football at a higher rate than trans people are harmed by treatment or surgeries.
Yep.
But
Even
football is
lightning
the most
strikes.
popular
Like,
sport in America.
yeah.
But we care
Lightning
about the
strikes
Players
hurt.
children.
get struck by lightning. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and I've been struck by lightning going to Boy Scout camp. That year I was doing rock climbing. I was climbing 300-foot cliffs. I fired black powder rifles. I learned how to do all kinds of crazy stuff. I was in what's called the Mountain Man program. I was 14 years old. I could have died a dozen times that week. And then I did die.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we encourage children to do dangerous things, in fact, because we want them to be a certain level of prepared for life. Because if you have never encountered danger, you are more likely to freeze up and not know how to react. We want them to have a certain level of decision making, or you are not preparing a person. You're making an adult child that doesn't know how to take care of anything or react in the right way. You have to give people a dynamic experience. I've been reading a lot of Kurt Vonnegut and other science fiction. It talks a lot about interesting things. Kurt Vonnegut mostly wrote about a period of time that involves right now. And it's crazy how he was actually, weirdly enough, people think he was very, very right wing, but he wrote to make fun of the right wing. It was all a joke. It's all black humor to him. And he's actually one of the most liberal people from that old generation. Like, he's been like repping for women's rights and let people do what they want with their bodies, and who really gives a shit what people want to do for themselves. And I'm sad that some of his writing is kind of fallen out of because of some of the way he wrote. He was a really intense free speech absolutist, and he wrote filthy. But
So I was going to cut in and say that I do think it's interesting how the way that we treat children, like the way that we treat trans issues, and like the kind of paternalism and this, like, the idea that we have to protect children from certain experiences because they may or may not cause harm, and how this like fits into a bigger picture of how we see children and how we treat children. That like, is it realistic for us to try to shield children from everything that could possibly challenge their beliefs or anything that could make them uncomfortable? It kind of reminds me of the right to comfort, like the white supremacist idea of the dominant group having the right to comfort. And it's like, you can't reasonably shield children from all possible negative experiences. You in fact want children to have negative experiences. Like, my younger sibling who I adopted, like, didn't rough around outside very much as a child. And so they have a lot of anxiety around accidentally getting hurt. Like, it's difficult for me to get them to use the step stool. And that's been a process of like, we need to expose you to things and let you experience what it's like to fall and scrape your knees, because your body needs to learn that a certain amount of risk is safe, like that you can engage in the risk and it's not going to be catastrophic or something. So it's like, and it all kind of comes back to like, children are an object in this kind of societal construction. Even the fact that I keep referring to them as children, there are some activists who avoid using that word because it's objectifying, in a way that if you were to say like young people, is more just acknowledging that they're people who are, existing in a certain status of currently being younger. They're an object, they're a prop that we use for political aims. And it's really disappointing because they're people who deserve to have that personhood acknowledged and cultivated in a way that's not right now.
I absolutely 100% agree with that. There's a phrase that I use, that a kid can't feel at home in a place they feel owned.
So true.
Because if you feel like you're owned somewhere, you're a prisoner.
A prisoner and a slave, some combination.
Yeah, we have a 15-year-old in the house right now, and I've been around them since they were 9. They're non-binary, and they're very proud of being. They're very wonderfully non-binary. They're absolutely fantastic. And I've been treating them like a person basically since I met them, because that's how I treat everyone. I kind of have a little bit of autistic like age blindness, and I forget how old you are about 5 minutes after I start talking to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
well,
so that like kids like that. And now my 15-year-old is easy. Like they will talk to me. They'll bring things to me. They trust me.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we have the foundation.
And, you know, exactly. And that's the beauty, I think, of, you know, of when you're parenting, you want to have the trust of and so you can be involved in the discovery of another human being finding who they are. And that's the beauty of it. It's and I think when you were talking about like football and all of these type of things, there's a lot of parents out there who were football players when they were young, and they're like, my son's gonna grow up and play football, and the kid's like doesn't like football, and then there's like, this kid's weak and a wuss, and then they put that on the kid, right? Like, maybe I'm speaking a little bit too much personally there, my dad and my soccer playing, like it's just like
I understand that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I had my brother's best friend growing up had 17 concussions throughout his childhood football career. I don't know what his brain is going to look like in 20 more years. I feel bad for him because he's still a close friend of the family. Like, he's married to my sister's best friend. They love each other.
Yeah.
So
wow.
I have a lot of personal experience with watching friends. Like one of the other guys that was close with that group of friends, he blew out his knee in his first college game, lost his college scholarship, and only had a 30% singing scholarship to fall back on.
Yeah.
And had to go into debt for college when he was supposed to go to college 4 years scot-free. Blew out his knee on his first game. Done.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Kitty, I really. Yeah, that is
sorry
bad
for taking so long.
No, it's fine. We appreciate you calling in, and like your initial claim is about anti-trans legislation hurts all people. And
it really does.
It is absolutely true. It is absolutely true.
One of the ways to do it is point out to people that we have expected children. Like, it's an argument I've been using a lot lately. We've expected children to live in a certain level of danger. We always have, and we try to insulate them to keep them alive. But our job is to prepare them and keep them alive, not to make them perfectly safe. Like my toddler, they climb all over the place and they fall down sometimes. And that's good, because now they're already used to falling down.
Yeah, absolutely.
My partner and I are both very much on the side of, like, when we see a little kid fall, we're like, oh, that was a good fall, good job. Like, positive reinforcement.
Yeah, we clap at them.
Yes, yes, exactly.
Yeah. I love that. Well, thank you, Kitty. I really appreciate the call, and thank you for sharing.
I hope you guys have a beautiful day, and
you too.
Insurance is a scam.
Yeah.
Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thanks, Kitty.
Absolutely, it is. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Insurance is a scam. In fact, we're one of the few countries that have it. So,
I'm getting health insurance this year. I did the math, and I'm going to save about $10,000 by spending about $9,000 this upcoming year for all the healthcare that I could need. But also, cool news, Oregon is working on making and implementing a universal healthcare thing, which I think will functionally, like, private insurance will still exist, but I think that it will probably be severely limited. And so it's kind of looking like, even on the worst possible timeline, we will have universal healthcare in like 2030. Which is great news. I wish I could wait. I'm like, but I've started having sleep apnea, and I need to fucking figure out what the problem is with that.
Yeah, you need to breathe when you sleep. It's one of those things that you got to do.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Just a little air while you're sleeping. Keeps everything stable and steady.
Keeps everything going.
Yeah, it does. It does. Just a little thing.
If you're here and you haven't hit the like button, you should hit the like button. Do it.
That's right.
Right now.
And
we don't have any spicy calls, so we need you to hit the likes. Yes.
And also subscribe, and also, yes, I think what it is all these transphobes are too afraid to be completely embarrassed by trans people. So if you're sitting there thinking about calling and you haven't yet, you're just afraid because you're a phobe. And that's just how it goes. You're just afraid to talk to us. So make sure you do call in. While we do that, let's look at how the poll is going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
94% said no in the chat poll.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you're part of that 6% that talks about how you're going to enforce it, please let me know, because I'm very curious as a future lawmaker, like, let me hear your ideas, so I'm not in for any wild surprises. So
Yeah.
yeah, let me know.
The
Maybe
reason we brought this up specifically, did you see what happened in Texas
Yep.
with the ban that just passed? There
Yep.
was we had a guest a couple of times called Mama Mephistopheles. You've seen her on TACIS before and on a Cus I Wanna. And she, along with another group, she's part of a group of trans activists there. They went to use the bathroom, I think, in one of the state houses, because the rule applies to public buildings like schools and the legislative body and stuff. So yeah, it's like, how did they end up trying to reinforce this? Like, well, first of all of those trans people went to the bathroom first. There was nothing in place. Originally, there was nothing in place for enforcement of this. And what they ended up doing was checking IDs. It's like, okay, well, plenty of these people did change their ID several years ago. So what are you doing here? One of the women was actually handcuffed and detained. Several other ones were also detained but not handcuffed. And so it's clear that there's a profiling thing happening, right? Like this one trans woman walking in a group of other trans people, and they walk up and handcuff her, and she's the only one. Like, okay, so yeah, it's not really possible to enforce this because there's no one way to tell who belongs in what bathroom, because there is no one thing that makes somebody belong in whatever bathroom. So I just wanted to shout out Mama Mephi for putting herself on the line in that way, and that
If
this
I
is
could add one
something
note
that
before
lots
Josie
of trans
hops
people have to
in,
do. Yeah.
it's also worth mentioning that it's a huge deal that they actually put that one girl in handcuffs, because the law specifically says that individuals can't be held liable for
Yeah.
these violations. It's the government
The
building,
institutions.
government-owned building and institutions that have to be held accountable for this. So
Yep.
there's like no cause
With like a
to
fine
put
or
her in
something.
handcuffs. Yeah.
So the thing that is the poison of this bill, and I'll share this. So let's say you're at a university, let's say University of Texas, and there is there is a bathroom that is a co-ed type situation, or a bathroom that is not equipped to be 100% like girl boy in their minds, right? um day So the first enforcement fine is $15,000, and the subsequent fine is $25,000 every 7 days, so that they do not rectify the situation. So if you're at a university campus and let's say there are 7 violations, that means every 7 days they are going to occur all of these fines. This is going to cause universities and public spaces and public buildings upwards to millions of dollars in fines that they have to pay because they're not following the wildness of this bill. In fact, that's what they think is going to actually happen, is that Texas is going to strike its own bill down because the fines are going to rack up so high that it's not even going to be obtainable. So there's a lot of activists out there that are like actually putting in the fines for the schools on purpose, just to make the Texas have to essentially have to deal with the fines that they're levying on public institutions. So
Mhm.
it doesn't work. at all. So it is a broken bill, and this is what happens when you try to legislate really stupid ideas, that it always breaks it. And I believe it was Idaho, I think, just tried to submit a policy that is going to allow private institutions to ban trans people from using the bathroom.
I think I saw New Hampshire on that.
It was in New Hampshire. It was New Hampshire. That's right. Was it New Hampshire?
I'm
That's
fairly
interesting
certain.
if
I
it's
will
New
fact
Hampshire.
check while we're sitting.
Yeah, fact check that
I have not been paying
because
attention to this news.
I'm pretty sure, like, and New Hampshire has the full set, I like to call it, of state legislatures. They have a trans woman, trans man, and a non-binary person in their legislature, but they're also the most representative democracy in the country because they have so many representatives for that tiny little state. They have like over like 400 or something, which is like wild for like their state legislature.
Like a large per capita representation. Yeah.
Yeah, you only need less than 1,000 votes to win a state seat. Like in New Hampshire, it's like
This is a pretty sweet deal.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
I don't know if Idaho already passed one in the past, but yeah, some Republicans in New Hampshire proposed a bill. I don't think it's even gotten like to the floor yet, and I doubt it would pass, to be honest.
I doubt it. Yeah, but the fact that they're trying is scary. Great. Well, we'll go on to the next call. And also, if you want to support my personal campaign for public office, so I can represent 1.1 million people, representing more trans people than any other person in the country, please donate. I just put the link in the chat, and it's just secureactblue.com/donate/Zerba. Because Zerba's got to be represented. It's actually the second most effective donation link we have, because people from the line really do donate. And I have actually been calling people who have donated via that link. And, so if you want a chance to talk to me, donate, and I'll give you a call and say thank you. Thank you so much for making this possible. It's really fun. People are like, who is this? Wait, what? And I'm like, it's Josie Caballero. I'm running for office. And they're like, what? And I'm like, from the line. Oh, the line. It's so funny. I love it. It's
nice.
It's so cute. It's really great. So I love talking to all of you when you donate, and so I can say thank you. So it is a fun time. Those are my most fun calls that I make, are thank you calls to the folks here. Great. So again, lines are wide open. Make sure you call to tell us why we're wrong. There's a lot of faceless people in the chat talking a lot of trash, but aren't calling in. So bunch of cowards. Yes.
We're ready to throw down.
We really are. Because I know Lux has a little bit of grumpiness from insomnia and is ready to let that angst out on some bad arguments. It's true. It's true. Great. So let's go ahead and talk to Trinket. She at pronouns from Ohio. Wants to talk about how trans people can or can't get any justice in our society. Hello, Trinket. You are live on the line on the Transatlantic Holland Show. How are you?
Hi, Josie. Hi, Lux. I am above the ground.
Mm-hmm.
That's good news. Love to hear that.
Yeah,
that is.
Before I get into the subject, I did want to say, Josie, last time I called in, you were the first person to call me it out loud. And I wrote that gender euphoria for like a week.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm happy that I can provide such a thing for you. You deserve to be called what you prefer.
Well, thank you. So yeah, in regards to my topic, like 2 months ago, I was hate crimed. Right outside my building, guy busted my face open.
So sorry.
It's the assault itself wasn't a huge deal to me, unfortunately. I had a little bit of increase in my hyper awareness for few days after that. I had a concussion, fractured nasal bone, but nothing I couldn't easily recover from. But like when the cops showed up, they could not have been more disinterested. I was lying on the sidewalk in a, shall we say, a puddle of trinket. It was rapidly growing, and they just were not at all interested in doing anything or helping. The guy who owns the business I live above was the brother of the guy who assaulted me and covered for him, lied outright to the police about the security cameras, which they had no interest in at all poking at. The cishet white guy who owns the business told them, we don't have footage. No, none of this happened. And the trans girl in clown makeup lying on the floor or on the sidewalk bleeding was just not their priority.
Wow. That's crazy.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. A friend of mine who actually showed up partway through all that, we've been trying to go about talking to local queer advocacy agencies because I do live in one of the queerest cities in the country. But I think like Stonewall, the people who could have helped us were out that week. And yeah, I mean, this guy's still out there. He's still incredibly violent. I considered maybe leveraging, because I'm a very, very small queer influencer here, but I do have connections to some larger queer influencers. I considered leveraging that against the brother and his business, but I also still need to live above them, and I don't have any. My landlord loves me, but he's a landlord. If it comes down to me or the business owner, I know what his response is going to be. So I just don't know what to do at this point.
If you're wanting advice, girl, the first thing that I would do would be like, I need out of this lease. Like, I was assaulted, like I was bloodied in front of your building, and the business owner covered for it and refused to cooperate with the police. And if some part of that doesn't constitute a violation of your lease, like, this is something I would be like, hey, do you have a local college that has a legal department that, because sometimes colleges will offer like some small amounts of like legal consultation. That's the path that I would be pursuing. I would be like, fuck living in this place where I was assaulted, where this guy knows where I live functionally, or like he's likely to come back around again because his brother owns the business. And if your landlord isn't like flexible and like willing to work with you on it, then yeah, I would find some form of breach of contract. Like I would start combing the fine print for breach of contract to get you out of that so that you can move somewhere. Obviously, having to move is a huge pain in the ass. I want to acknowledge that. And it's, the stability of having a consistent place to live and everything. But yeah, that's just me personally. I wouldn't fuck with that. I would not stay there anymore, especially if I figured everybody was going to not be on my side. No.
Yeah, I've considered it. I spent time homeless before I got in this apartment, so I am a little more reluctant to start looking. But my case manager and I have been talking about trying to find me a new place anyway. But no, my biggest problem is this guy who just hopped out of his car because he wanted to punch a trans girl.
Ugh.
And it's like this guy.
Yeah.
There don't have been any consequences for this. I'm worried he's just gonna.
Yeah. Get a taser. And any further advice I would have is probably not TOS. So.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I will say that again, just so sorry, and you're getting a lot of love in the chat about the situation, and I'm glad you're okay. I will say this from the late great, Miss Gracie Major, Miss Major, her phrase was, "Honey, we're still fucking here." Right. And that is the most powerful thing that we have, is our existence, our determination to not go anywhere, our determination to continue to exist in the face of adversity is the thing that wins the day ultimately. And that resolve is what we need to continue to push forward. And we're in the thick of probably one of the worst resurgence of anti-trans, people and violence that we have ever seen since, the early, 1960s and beyond. And we have these stories to share about to the future, right? When we grow older and we become elders. Some would say I'm an elder now, which it sucks, but it's true. I'm about to be 40, so yeah, I'm an old tia. Yeah. But 20 years from now, 30 years from now, when you're sharing that story, Trinket, you're going to help inform the future generations of what it was like in 2025, what it was like in the mid 20 or early 2020s and the entire decade, as a stark reminder of how bad it became. I am an eternal optimist, as I think a lot of people know, and I think that we are going to continue. Things are going to ultimately get better. I think things might get a little worse before they get better, but I think we're reaching the bottom of that barrel. At least that's what I have to tell myself, so I can continue to sleep at night. And so we use our resiliency, right? Trinket, like you said it yourself, is like, look, I want to live in a place. I don't want to lose my shelter. You use that resiliency to survive because survival matters more. And building that resiliency, and I'll tell you, you are resilient. You're a resilient person. Like, you are absolutely resilient. For you to say, well, I'm still here. I'm still living in the place. I'm still going on day after day. That is power. And you are an incredible demonstration of what resilience looks like. Because my definition of resilience is essentially, it's about being able to take a punch, but also remembering that taking that punch still doesn't hurt, right? Like, it hurts, right? It's just because you're resilient doesn't mean that there is pain involved in the act of being that resilient. And so your survival means so much, and I just want to commend you for that, because I know some people maybe wouldn't be resilient as you are, right? But the fact that you're able to say, I'm still fucking here, is a testament to who you are and what our community actually looks like. Because that coward, that son of a bitch that ran away and is on the road and is an absolute coward, the weakest among us, the slime of the earth, and is still living in fear. That is not what he doesn't. The person that did that, right, doesn't think that you are on this show right now doing a demonstration of resilience for an entire audience of people to say, look, I'm still fucking here. I'm still going to live. I'm not going to the streets. I'm going to continue going day in and day out. You're like, that guy made this community stronger. And so it's just a testament to who you are. And I just want to say thank you for sharing. We will get our justice in the end. We will get our justice. We will. And I appreciate you. Well, where Martin Luther King said it, right? Like, the arc of justice is long, but the arc the arc of just, and now I'm messing it up.
The arc of history is long, but it curves.
The arc of history
justice.
is long, but it carves to justice. Thank you. I was like, where's the word? It's history. Thank you. See, you're even better than I am on saying one of the most historical, powerful quotes. But that's right. We are going to get our justice as a community, and and I know it doesn't feel good, but we will get there, and we will punish those that did these harms. Again, I'm eternally optimistic. But you know what? The reason I can say it is because you're still fucking here, Trinket. That's why I can say it.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Doing my best.
Yeah. And that's the best is all that's all we can do. And that's all I would ever expect. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you for who you are. And standing up and being boldly yourself. Yeah. Great.
I've been intending to write a piece about this to perform. Maybe I'll do it this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Make some art.
Turn
Make
it into
some propaganda out of it. Yes.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Well, we love you here on the line, and just keep on keeping your head up. We're gonna get through it together. Okay.
Yeah. I'll do my best.
All right. Well, good luck on
Much
that
love,
art.
Trinket.
Much love. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
It's so hard to hear the stories, but it's important for us to hear them. It's really important for us to hear them. Great. So with that, wow, we really do have a lot of people who are afraid to call in. It's fine. We'll just keep on moving forward. It's like people like Trinket. It comes on here and shares a story about a transphobe literally so cowardly that they're like hiding out from the freaking law and police, and comes up here with full courage, with its full chest, telling its story, and a transphobe can't even call in to say why we're wrong. Tisk, tisk, tisk.
Listen.
Tisk. Tisk, tisk, tisk.
Terrible. Y'all, and I want you guys to know, we give priority to people who disagree. So we do have people like waiting to talk to us right now who are like friendly, or they want advice or something. It's just like our other shows where we prioritize our argumentative, like Christian callers. This is a show where we prioritize the combative transphobic callers. So if you have some shit to say it to my face. We can hash it out right here. Let's figure it out, Maybe I might give you some information, or maybe you might give me some information that could destroy my entire worldview. It hasn't happened yet, but you are welcome to take the opportunity to, what is it? Destroy, cancel, trans person can't even handle it, blue hair and pronouns. Like, come on, get in here. Let's do it.
Let's go. Great. So with that, we will go into Adrian. She, her from Kentucky, looking for insight and advice from Luxander Josie. You are live on the line on the Transatlantic Call-In Show. Talk to us.
Hi, y'all. Thanks for taking the call. I do look forward to hearing you put the beat down on some cowards later. But while we wait, I figure I might call and get some pointers from you on some stuff.
Sure.
Yeah, so moral of the story, Kentucky is not known for being a hotbed of affirmation, love, and inclusion. That being said, I am trans-femme, pre-HRT right now, kind of in the middle of social transitioning. Been very lucky that people have kind of clocked me and actually properly gendered me already, even when I'm kind of boy-moding out there. Where I am, though, is because of that, we're out of time. There's one family member in my system who is absolutely not affirming. It's very hateful. And it's looking like it's going to be a no contact situation. It's become harder and harder to just lock up. So I guess I don't know what I'm looking for other than like insight, motivation, advice, anything you have around cutting off people who are just not here for it, you know, especially in the family system, especially people who used to mean a lot to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really tough. I will say there is a representative who's a dear friend of mine, Emma Curtis. She is, it's all it's always a mouthful. She's an elected official. She is the county council. She's a county council woman for the Lafayette, um, Fayette Urban County Council. That's what it is. Fayetteville. Yes, it's always such a mouthful to say. And I know another person who is also running in Kentucky as well. So it is getting better in a lot of ways. But one of the things I will say, it's really hard, especially when you don't feel like you have that support network around you, especially around your family and friends that you want to come out to. I will say that in a lot of situations, sometimes you do have to go non-contact for a while. I know it was about a year and a half with certain members of my family before I started talking to them again. And it was incredibly difficult during that time. And there's still members of my family I still won't probably ever talk to ever again, which is tragic. It's their loss. I think I'm a pretty great person to know. And you know, it is one of those things. But one thing I would suggest is, like, even here in the chat, there was people saying, I'm in Kentucky, I'm a trans woman. And you know, we're everywhere. Even if you feel that you're in a rural area, there's got to be trans people around you. And a lot of times it is seeking that queer circle, that friend circle, that are trans, or that are dealing with a lot of the BS that you're dealing with in your local area, that will become your found family. And it is a very real thing. I had found family before my actual family came around. And it is just kind of how it goes sometimes. It doesn't make it easier to say it out loud. But it is something that you have to think about when you're living your truth and who you are, because you're doing this for yourself. You're not doing this for anyone else. And it's about making sure that you feel good as a person as you move forward through the world, and you will find the people who will accept you and love you. Um, and you just have to be safe when you do it. And a lot of times it is finding those close networks. But I've seen people in the most rural areas find community. It's not always easy, but it is possible. We are everywhere, in every corner, and every nook of this country. We are there. Yeah. Lux, do you want to add anything?
I think the only thing I can really add is that, you know, you might have to go no contact initially, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's the end of your relationship. That, you know, telling someone, I'm going to have to talk to you a lot less if you're going to continue to be this way about it. And that, you know, drawing those boundaries is not selfish, it's self-preservation. And it's also a form of preserving the relationship itself. Like, drawing boundaries is a way of you saying, like, I want you in my life, and I can only have you in my life under these circumstances, because otherwise it's going to be harmful to me. So I would just say, don't beat yourself up too if you do need to draw some pretty harsh boundaries after trying to explain yourself. You know, just generally explain yourself, give the opportunity for the person to change behavior. And if they don't elect to change behavior, just say, look, I'm going to remove myself from the situation. Then, you know, maybe next year at Thanksgiving, we can reevaluate whether I'm going to come to the family gathering, or whether I'm going to speak to you or something. So just give it time to breathe. If you're still super early in your process, it just might need a little bit of time.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And
thank you all.
I will say this.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I will also say this too. Sometimes family will be in denial about the fact that it's actually real. Like there were moments when my mom, I love her dearly. She's like, "Are you still trans?" I'm like, "Yes, mom, I'm still trans. I'm also still vegan. I'm also still poly. I'm also still bi. All those things are still all things that are inside of me, and that's who I'm gonna be." And
But didn't this
this
come
was
off in the
early.
shower?
No, it never scrubbed off. So and I love her like, deeply. My mother is amazing. But there was a moment where it was just like I always like to say there are some family members where their transphobia comes from a loving place. And I hate when I say it like that, right? But it is something like that where there are some family members who think that they are rescuing you from being trans by being cruel and mean because they don't want you to live in a society where trans people are so hated and so discriminated against. So they think that they're doing you a favor by denying your existence because they think that maybe if you aren't trans, you're not going to suffer to the transphobia of the world that a lot of them play into. And so sometimes that time of like, I'm this trans person. And when you go through the transitional steps, however you feel comfortable doing that, over time, right? Every trans person that does choose to go through any type of transition, after a year of transition, people are completely different humans when it comes to looks, sound, speech patterns, clothing style. All of those things kind of like materialize, and some family members just don't want to see that evolution piece, the piece of transition itself. They're very jarred by that. But the second you walk back in a year or two later, they're like, "Oh my God, you look beautiful. You're great. Oh my God." And then like all of a sudden it's just like they forget all the grief that they gave you because all of a sudden it's based in a very superficial way. And I hate the fact that there's a lot of family members who see it in a very superficial way, but in reality that's sometimes a thing that happens. I think there was a moment for my family where it clicked, where I was at my grandmother's funeral, unfortunately, and it was already about a year and a half into my transition. And I came in looking like a Catholic Latina woman with the whole black get up, like the whole, like it was like the way a Catholic funeral is supposed to be dressed, and black head to toe. And when they saw me as myself fully, and that was the moment where they were like, "Oh, this is actually real." And then they had to make a choice of, are they going to love who I am, or are they going to continue to reject the reality that I am this person that stands in front of them? And it's not an easy situation because you do have to sometimes go that non-contact so they can have that full experience of seeing you as your full self, alive and happy and smiling and full of energy. But sometimes that's what it takes. I'm not saying it's right, and I'm not saying they deserve that either. It's just sometimes that's the thing that clicks for people sometimes, because a lot of people don't understand that real transition. A lot of transphobes aren't going through the internet looking at transition photos of what people look like before to what they look like now. They don't even understand that it exists. They think that it's Dwayne Johnson in a tutu. They don't understand that there's an actual process of who we are that develops and grows with us as we transition. That is a beautiful, full human being that is different from the full human being that they knew before. And that's also the same for non-binary people too, in my opinion. At least that's how I feel. So I don't know, Lux, you would have to verify that one.
I don't have a lot to add. I feel like you're just knocking it out of the park today.
I'm in Thea mode, I guess.
Yeah.
All of that is awesome. You all are the best, and just know that there's millions of me out there, as you do know, that need to hear this.
Yeah.
And just thanks.
Yeah. It makes it worth doing, you know? It's like, yes, I do get to yell at people sometimes, but also we help a lot of people. So it's good to have that.
Yeah, and y'all are making me think, like,
better.
the experience of euphoria on the other side of this, you know, that empowerment that I've just felt in little pieces, little bits. Once that gets strong enough to push me
and it's
forward,
so early.
I just can't
You have
wait.
so much to look forward to. Like, you have so much euphoria ahead of you, because you're like, I haven't even started my medical transition yet, or you're just at the beginning of it, and like there's so many milestones. It's like I kind of understand, I guess, why people become parents now, because it's like you get to watch someone else go through all these like milestones of life and watch them experience things for the first time. So it's a little bit like that as just like an older trans person who, like, still to this day, it's been 15 years, I still have people who DM me like, oh, I just realized I'm trans. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, here we go again.
Yeah.
It's awesome, though.
Exactly. It is awesome. We become Sherpas climbing up this transition mountain.
I am your guide. Yes, your spirit guide.
Yes.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I'm going to make a saint candle with both of you on it now.
Oh, gosh.
Yes.
I love
it's more
it.
appropriate for Josie because that's like a Catholic thing, right? The candles with the Mary on them.
Yes, absolutely. I love how sacrilegious it is. So thank you.
That's wonderful. Yeah.
I appreciate you. Well, thank you, Adrian, for the call and, you know, sharing with us this very vulnerable time for you. And I wish you the best of luck. And I know you are going to make it through it just like we all do. And call back in. Tell us how it's going. Okay.
You got it. Thank you all so much.
Awesome. All right.
Bye.
Bye. All right.
We're looking at the next calls. You're hitting the like button if you're watching this. Do it.
That's right.
Please.
Let's say, you know, just to keep the family wagon moving, let's go to Max. He, they pronouns in California, calling about dealing with transphobic parents. You are live on the line on the Transatlantic Call-In Show. Tell us about it.
Hi. Is my audio okay?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So I'm transmasc, and I came out 7 years ago. And my mom opened with, you can't be a they, them, because you're one person.
Sure.
And I'm disabled, so I live with her. And for the most part, we don't talk about my transition. And yesterday we got into it. She was being racist. And I called her on it. And when I get excited, my voice gets high-pitched, and she pointed that out. And said, quote, sorry, little girl, if your voice gets high-pitched when you're mad, I'm calling you a little girl. And I feel like at this point, it's just like, oh, we're not going to get past this. It's been too long, and we've been fighting about it for too long. And I was just wondering if you guys have any advice on how to accept that we're not getting anywhere.
I mean, that's so tough. Are you like dependent because of your disability?
Yeah. I'm working on it, but it'll be a couple years. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I have a friend who's in this same situation where they have a pretty profound physical disability and they're trans and their family is like trying to be supportive, but isn't always supportive. And like the fact that you are reliant on them unless, I guess, you get married and then somebody else becomes your full-time caretaker. So that's really rough.
Yeah, I tried that and it didn't work out.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, it's a long life. There's plenty of opportunities in the future, probably, but for the time being, it's not like a viable solution to your problem because that would involve like a long time of establishing a relationship rapport with somebody. Or I guess you could, you know, if you're in California, there might be like other queer people that you could, if you get a disability check, you could pay like a small amount of the rent and get into a roommate situation, but that doesn't necessarily solve your support needs aspect of it. So I want to acknowledge how delicate the situation is and that we cannot give you a quick answer like get out of that house. I mean, I am a nasty person sometimes. I've become a nasty person. And if I lived with someone and I was trapped with somebody who wanted to leverage my gender against me like that, you bet I would take that misogyny dial and turn it all the fucking way up. I'm going to be as nasty as possible about your fat ass cellulite or whatever. Like, but that's not a reasonable response to a situation where somebody has complete power over you. So I'm just tempering that with the knowledge that that could result in her literally abusing you. And that would also be like just increasing the problem and making it worse. So really, I don't think I have any advice. Like aside from some radical acceptance therapy of just being like, how do I tolerate this person? How do I reduce the amount of contact I need to have with this person and focus on like regulating your own emotions? Because otherwise, like I would fly off the complete handle.
Yeah. Max, I'd love to ask you a question. What is the goal you're trying to achieve with your parent?
I feel like we're going to be around each other for the rest of our lives, and I'd like it to be polite.
Okay. And not to be dig deeper, but when you say polite, does that mean respecting pronouns or does that mean something different? What does polite mean to you?
I mean, I think getting her to he, him, me ever is not going to happen because she has expressed so. She said I would die mad about it. So I would just like to cut back on the direct attacks at my identity.
Okay. So, and how old are you, Max, if you don't mind me asking?
34. Yeah, 34.
Okay. Was your and I'm guessing this is your mother?
Yeah.
I'm guessing. Okay. Was your mother this cruel when you were growing up? Like when you were like a kid growing up?
Not that I can recall ever, no.
Okay. So one thing that, and again, this is me spitballing here. I am just trying, on an internet show, not a therapist, not a licensed anything when it comes to medical stuff. I just want to put that disclaimer out. I wonder if there's a way for you to appeal to the past of when she probably tried to teach you to be kind to others, right? Like when I was growing up, my parents used to tell me, don't stare, be nice, don't be mean to people around you, don't be a bully, right? And even though I think a lot of the conservative folks kind of turned all that and said, no, do all those things now, I wonder have you ever tried to appeal to, you raised me to be nice. Have you ever tried that before?
No, but I can. The message that she really pushed on us was that when you mess up, like if you break a plate, you can't unbreak it even if you apologize to it, which I feel like would not work out well in this situation because that's kind of well, you've committed your mistake already and you aren't coming back from it.
Sure. But I'm sure
you don't have to keep breaking plates. Like you can stop breaking plates at a certain point. You can take more care. You can package them more carefully. Like, yeah, I think that there's still value in pursuing that end regardless. Like you don't have any control over another person. So like the primary thing to do is to figure out how you can control your response to the situation and try to communicate what's going on. And like Josie is saying, like to appeal to a sense of, a sense of right and wrong, kind of like your mother taught you a certain sense of right and wrong, which includes not being unkind to people And it could be that she just needs like a reminder that she is not acting in accordance with that. However, we are getting evidence now that COVID causes damage to the parts of the brain that are involved with empathy, and she might just genuinely not be capable of understanding that she's doing harm anymore. So I don't know, like that is like a good avenue to pursue. And you also have to work on some acceptance that might not get through, like that it might not be as effective as you want it to be. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Definitely try to use, and it's really sad to say this, but you need to use their parenting that they tried to raise you with, and now you have to try to parent them back. Because they're not being the people that they raised us to be. So you have to literally treat them like they're children. Like, don't stare, don't be mean. Like, it's like you like, that type of stuff. But it's like, in a reality, you got to do that gentle parenting of like, I don't remember you saying that to anybody when I was growing up. It's like, I would never say something like that to a friend or a family member. Like, is that like, things like that. I know that maybe I'm going a little too far in like the way that I'm saying it, but I think you can find it in your own way that harkens back to the nostalgia of when you were growing up, of when you're, because I would assume that most parents have a belief that they're good parents, especially when you're young. So try to play into that. Try to be in like, and see how that goes. Again, there are some people who are lost causes. But I wish you the best. I really do. Yeah. Well, good luck, Max. I appreciate you calling in. Yeah. All right. Talk to you later.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye. All right, everybody. The web caller is down. So what we have to do is, the only way to call into the show is to call the number, which is 720-619-2288. And obviously our country code is 1. So it is 720-619-2288. And then you can call us. The phone calls actually come out really well as far as audio quality, so don't worry. You will still be able to hear the show in the background when you call in. I've actually called in via the phone before myself, when I was calling like the hang up or something, or Cus I Wanna, just to bug the host with my own antics, especially when the election was happening. So yeah, it's always fun to call in as as a host.
We don't have any control over the web caller being down, by the way. That's like Call-In Studio is having some kind of hiccup where the audio is not quite working for people who are trying to call through the web link. So I apologize if you're not in the US and you're trying to call today. I have no control over that. We're just going to have to cross our fingers that it's working by the next time we have a show.
Yeah, absolutely. And the country code is, I think, 001. I believe that's how the country code stuff works. So if you're trying to call internationally, I believe that's how you connect. Perfect. All right. Well, let's see. Just taking a look at some of the posts here. I guess we'll just keep going down, right? Is that just get them as we as they come in?
Nothing's jumping out yet. Yeah, we'll just keep going.
Okay. All right. We will go with Chris, they, them from Poland. Is scared before being trans is okay? Or is it internalized transphobia? Looking for advice. Hello, Chris. You are live on the line on the Transatlantic Call-In Show. Talk to us about it.
Hey, Josie. Hey, Lux. How are you guys?
Doing well.
Tired.
Cool. Good to hear that. The question I had didn't really know how to put it in one sentence. But the thing is that I actually did call in a few times before, and with questions about gender dysphoria. And well, right now I've been referred to a sex clinic for gender dysphoria and to explore where this might lead. And I'm okay. At first, when I started to discover gender dysphoria and the way I thought about it, that it is a possibility that I may be trans, it was like kind of exciting. And now when I got that referral to the hospital, I'm like, well, shit's getting serious, and I'm like kind of, I don't know, scared that shit might be actually like serious. And I don't know whether this is just like my problem with identity, or is it like like in the question, is it some kind of internalized transphobia or something? Well, because Poland is way back when it comes to certain stuff, and I'm actually in the middle of scripting a video I want to do in Polish for the first time about being trans, and I want to spread like actual knowledge on stuff and become, a science communicator here in Poland, because I've been doing stuff for my channel in English, and I've come to realize that it's kind of um, running away from the issues that I can really address here where I live, and that's what I could focus on. But okay, never mind. It's just the thing that I don't know whether these are valid feelings or not, like being scared or something.
Very valid feelings. I will tell you, in my own personal life, I transitioned at 34 years old. I grew up in a conservative Catholic household. I served 6 years in the Navy, and I was in spaces that put a lot of internalized transphobia inside of me. That made me very nervous and very scared about the feelings that I was feeling of the fact that I was not cis. And a lot of that is very scary, because once you realize that you're not cis, it's kind of really hard to put that toothpaste back in the tube. It's like you can't unknow what you know at that point. And so it is very, very normal to be like, oh no, my life is over. I don't know what to do. My career, everything that I knew, like my family, my friends, everything is going to have to change now. And it's incredibly terrifying, especially if you are raised in a place that isn't very affirming, where you don't get the opportunity to kind of like have that experience of people around you that are like, oh yeah, this is completely normal. Welcome to the club. It's fine. It's great. Everything is okay over here. I had to get there and find my own path, even though I did know trans people throughout my life. I just didn't know them like closely. I just knew them as like, I was in politics. I only knew them tangentially. So it's a very normal feeling to feel this way. But I will tell you, Chris, you are definitely not the only trans person in Poland. I know several people who have called from Poland, and I also know a personal friend who lives in Poland who is a trans woman. So it does exist, and I know it's hard, but it is completely normal to feel what you're feeling.
Yeah, I know we do exist in Poland. According to global statistics, the most conservative ones, there should be at least 380,000 trans people in Poland. And I still haven't had I haven't looked around to talk to them. I'm still here, like, thinking about stuff. But when I mean, in 3 weeks I'm going to be 40, and that's also something that is weighing heavily on me. And I'm thinking, like, it probably would have been far easier if I had known when I was far younger. But at the same time, I didn't know that something like being trans existed even when I was in high school, because no one talked about it. And by the time I was in high school, I was deep in Catholic Church and a sect. So, like, the only thing remotely, and I am using this term very generously, that was widely known or used when I went to school was being a transvestite. And that, you know, it's not something I feel comfortable even saying out loud. I mean, the term, I feel it's kind of, well, out of date is saying really little about it. It feels icky to even say that. And no, and I don't mean any disrespect. I just think it's really out of date. I don't think it's in the DSM anymore, or the ICD-11 is still in ICD-10, and that's what we go by here in Poland, which was kind of shocking that in ICD-10, which is still used in Poland, and time's running out. This should be changed by next year. But yeah, and it was really shocking that something that an entry like that still exists and is used here, just like Asperger's, which I found also shocking that is still used in Poland. Yeah, I mean, I'm not afraid about losing family because I have no contact with my family. I've been no contact for years, basically. And my friends are really, really inclusive. So otherwise I wouldn't be friends with them. So yeah, I've got good people around me, so I know that.
Well, I think that's where it starts. It starts with the people around you, and also there's somebody in the chat that just put that looks like they're in Poland. The Zero Story said that there are 2 organizations in Poland. I am not even going to try to pronounce them. It's like Fundisha, and then I don't know how to pronounce these words. But it's in the chat. A few going back. So if you read those, maybe those are some trans organizations that exist in Poland for you to reach out to. And then there is a trans streamer called Lucy Hayes. I know that's the trans person that I do know that is in Poland as well. And I talked to her when she was early in her transition a long time ago, years ago, 3 years ago, I think. And so I think the best thing that you can do, Chris, is to really connect with the people that love you and be very, express yourself the way you want to express yourself, and have them be with you when you're able to do that, and then actively look for other trans people in your area. And I share this with people in the United States too. This isn't just the Poland thing. This is just find other folks. And I know you said you really haven't had an opportunity to look, but I think it's time. I think it's time so you can actually share a cultural connection with other trans people in your local area to be able to talk these things through. Because I think you are at a point in your life where it's like, well, I'm definitely not cis, so now I need to figure out and discover who I am as the trans person that you are, Chris. And I think that you're a very intellectual person, a very intelligent person. And I think I also fell into the trap of overanalyzing it a lot and just like overthinking it. And I just get in a spiral. And then it just creates more anxiety and it makes me like it makes me lose my mind. And the only way that I was able to get out of that anxiety cycle and that spiral that I was in mentally was to find other trans people. I think I've shared it on the show. It was a community group in my local area. It was actually an LGBTQ center that was local that had a trans support group. And I walked into the room with a bunch of trans people at every stage of their transition, from late to early to not yet. And I was able to cry in a room of complete strangers that understood where I was coming from. And that was the first moment that I was able to be honest with myself, to say, yeah, I am the woman that I am now. And it's an experience I could not replicate any other way without being in that space with all those humans. Those humans saved my life. And it is something that is hard to put words to, except that you should seek it out. You should seek it out.
I would also say
Yeah, I
that
think you're
just
right.
like being afraid of transphobia is being afraid of transphobia. I would not say that that's like a form of internalized transphobia. That like if you're worried that the world is going to be less kind to you, that is a reasonable way to feel, and that feeling that way is not reflective on your character in any way. And also, like, hey, if you start hormones and you don't like it, you can quit, and it's like not gonna permanently affect you, probably, if you start for like a couple months and then quit. So it's also good to remember that, like, if this pathway isn't the one that's for you, then that's okay. Like when you're saying like, oh, it's starting to really get real, you know, you can always pick up your prescription and then wait to take the pills. Like no part of this is going to be like somebody's forcing your hand or you're required to continue or anything like that. So if it does turn out that it's too hard, there are plenty of people in America who are detransitioning right now because it's too hard and not because they aren't actually trans in their heart. So, you know, whatever you feel like you need to do to protect yourself, there's no moral judgment on that.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
I mean, sorry, I interrupted you.
No, Chris. I was just agreeing. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I know the world's not gonna be, kind to me, and that's one. And I'm not expecting it to be kind, because the world is the world, and to fuck the world. And I was going somewhere with this, and I forgot. Oh yeah, I wanted to say that spiraling with anxiety. Uh, I, I I'm not a newcomer to spiraling, of being autistic and ADHD with a dash of CPTSD on top, just to make it a nice cake. And yeah, so that's fun. I mean, I know I can. I know there is no. It it never happens that someone starts transitioning with any permanent changes, or even not permanent, any kind of surgeries or whatnot, and it starts with hormones that, yeah, can be reversed. I mean, I know that. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the biggest thing that's weighing down on me is the age thing. I'm not. Oh yeah, I know where I was going with the world stuff. I mean, I'm not really too much attached to life, because I've just finished a 3 month intensive therapy, 3 month intensive therapy in a hospital for suicide ideation. I can tell you, it did not help. But it's more of a
Yeah.
it's more of a, to me, more philosophical thing. I've come to realize, yeah, depression is really weighing down heavily. But I think it also boils down to just me being in a destructive nihilistic phase at the moment, destructive towards myself. And it's more of I think I need a therapist who has a philosophy background to really get me. Okay, I'm rambling. Sorry.
No, it's fine. And it's never too late. It's never too late to transition. Like it's just this. I knew people who transitioned in their late 70s, early 80s, and they got to live as themselves for 4 years, and they were completely happy before they passed on. And so I remember her telling me the only reason she transitioned or was because everybody in her family died and she was ready to finally do it. And you know what? I was like, go off, queen, like do what you got to do, right? And so in reality, it there's a lot of intellectualist things that you're putting in your mind, because I also thought the same thing when I was 34. I was like, well, that ship has sailed. I'm too old. I shouldn't do it. There's a lot of reasons we talk ourselves out of the things that we know are going to be best for us. And so yeah, there is no too late. And there is for you to be able to live your truth. Because people transition when they're transition and when they're ready. Whenever you decide is the perfect time. Yeah, and there's somebody in the chat right now that said they started at 44, and that was 28 years ago, right? So yeah, age is literally just a number at this point when it comes to transitioning. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I'm not. This is the first time in my life I really feel. Let's say I really feel how many years I have, because otherwise I have never felt my age. My sense of humor peaked when I was 14, and it stayed that way. Otherwise, I don't feel my age absolutely. Hey, I'm a simple person. I see penis, I think funny.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess so.
Well, yeah. Well,
I've never felt
Chris,
attached
thank
to
you
my
so
age,
much.
and all of a sudden now it became a problem. Like that.
Of course, yeah. It's being trans is a hell of a thing. Sometimes it just pops into your head and you can't get it out, and you're like, oh well, this is real. Yeah, that was
Yay, this is my life now.
yeah, exactly, and that's just how it goes. But I have faith that you will make the right decision for what is best for you, and give yourself more credit and faith that what's best. You really do. You know, it's one of those situations where it's like there is a you're kind of circling the pool. You know that the water is fine, but you're just at that point where you're ready to jump in, but you still have that little bit of fear. And it's time to just plunge in and it'll be fine and you'll be happy you did. So, all right.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been saying this for 4 years now, that my body has a penis, but my soul has a vagina.
There you go. I'll tell you right now,
It's
no
funny
cis
those things
person
that we
says
say
that.
before we know we're trans.
Yeah. Yeah. My thing I used to say is that I was a lesbian trapped in a male body. I used to say that before I found out I was trans. Yeah. And then I was like, wait, the trapped part was the key word in that sentence. I needed the letter out.
Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you for saying the quiet part out loud. I should have been born a lesbian.
Yeah, there you go. Well, the thing is, you really were. You were born a lesbian. You're just a lesbian with extra steps.
Yeah.
That's all.
It never gets
Chris.
easy,
Well,
does it?
No, it doesn't. But it does get happier. So
happy.
that is.
I'd like to be happy.
Yeah. I still say to this day, I was never actually happy till I came out as Josie. And now I am happy. And it feels great. It's wonderful. I was able to take off the depression cloak. So
wow.
But yeah. Yeah, I used to be a very depressed person. Chris,
Wow.
I hear a lot of myself in you, okay? If you haven't gotten that yet, I see a lot of myself in you when I was coming out as trans, before I came out as trans. The things that you were saying to me are the things that I used to tell myself. Okay? It's true.
Yeah.
And you know it. So, well, with that, I'm going to let you go. Keep on, you know, don't.
Sorry for rambling for so long.
No, it's fine. We're happy to have these calls. All right, Chris. Have a great rest of your day, okay?
Yeah, you too. Have a good one.
All right. You too.
Bye.
Bye. And, you know, it's kind of hard to think about, like, the fact that I was such a depressed human back then. And, like, now knowing myself now, I'm just like, wow, that didn't fit very well on me at all. Like, you know, I was just,
who does that?
I know. It's like, who is this miserable person that I used to be, right? It was just like, now I'm just like, oh, I'm like, I wake up happy. Like, that's what I do. And I didn't think it was possible, but it's amazing what can happen when you just are honest with yourself. Great.
Yep.
Let's see. But before we jump on the next call, I just want to say, if you haven't liked or subscribed, you better go do that. You better do it now. And don't forget, we have LineCon that is happening this week. And that's going to be a lot of fun. And it's a special free live con with Matt Delahunty, Jovan Bradley, and Alyssa Lube. And it's going to be a good time. So make sure you join. Or you could pay the $5 and see the archived LineCon that Lux was on. So you can see Lux doing the educator, taking the educator role, and you know, teaching people.
The topic will shock you.
Will it?
It's not what you would expect me to talk about.
Oh,
I mean, I assume that somebody would guess that I would talk about transness, and it's not about that. So,
of course not, because we're like actual people outside of just being trans. I know we're always on a trans show, but we're like more than trans. Like,
yeah, I've got other stuff going on.
We're whole ass people. Speaking of which, I'm running for office in my local area. So if you want to contribute to our campaign because you want to see a trans woman make history in Maryland as the first legislator, please donate to my campaign. It's gonna keep the lights on, and December is historically one of the hardest months to raise money. So keep it up. Great.
I'm also sorry I keep yawning. It's not because I'm bored. It's because I have insomnia right now. I'm just having a yawning attack. I'm sorry.
Insomnia right now? Yeah, it's
like the past week.
I guess Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I just have barely slept for the past 7 days. So
what you don't know is Lux has actually been trying to use this time to sleep, but Lux actually has insomnia and can't sleep when Lux is trying
right now.
To sleep.
Currently. My eyes will not stay shut. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's wild. Yeah. Great. We will go ahead to our next call. Nicola from her from Wyoming. Nicola, you are live on the line on the Transatlantic Call-In Show. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I want to correct, my name is Nicola. Nicola is a male Russian, and I am pretty English and female.
Okay.
All right, Nicola, I apologize. I have dyslexia, and historically on this show, I mispronounce everything.
I have to deal with
On
this
Toast Nachos.
all the time.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nicola. So, yeah, tell us what you want to talk about.
Well, okay. I'm the older person. I'm 74. I have been dealing with the fact that I'm intersex my entire life, and unfortunately, the administration, or what do you want to call it? I don't want to get political if you don't want to go that way.
I do want to go political.
They have added I while they eliminate T from things, because that's in their best interest. Anyway, I'm in a situation where I have gone through this for my first diagnosis. When I started really dealing my situation was in 1980. I was, to use current wording, I was sexually mutilated when I was an infant. And I've had numerous surgeries through my life because that was a mistake. And I'm just like caught in this thing where even just Tuesday, I was at the doctor and they're bringing up just all this stuff of just discrimination. I have been on hormones for 45 years.
Yeah.
But it seems as though it's going to be taken away from me. I mean, it's not transsexual, transgender therapy. It's just keep me alive. And I think you, Josie, really understand that you need to take this for the rest of your life. They're probably not even, when you go to a surgeon now, they're probably not even actually telling you this, but probably when you did it, they told you need to take hormones for the rest of your life, because once we do this operation, you don't have any.
Yep.
And that's where I'm at. And that's what happened to me Tuesday. And I'm just like, I'm just like hoping you can give me some kind of inspiration beyond, maybe we didn't realize the intersex got thrown into this thing, and there are people like me that are biologically female. I mean, I have been tested. I am XX. I'm not XY. I don't care what that original birth certificate was. That was corrected decades ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's coming back. I can't believe that they've dug into this stuff. I mean, they dug up me going, I live in Wyoming. I've lived here for since 1992. They dug up records at Planned Parenthood in Helena, Montana. I don't even know what year it was. And I was in there trying to request hormones, and I was rejected because I was intersex and they don't treat intersex people.
Wow.
And I'm just trying to bring this into it's like people, we need to realize, it's like they have gone so far. It's like people that are just born with these problems, we're just stuck in the middle of this. And I mean, I'm calling today. I have listened to you guys for years. I don't call in. I don't want to expose myself. But today I call because I'm sitting there going, I'm in tears. It's anyway, I don't know how to deal with it anymore. It's like I tried to write a letter that I'm going to send back to the clinic, and it's like, really, you're going to do this to me? Are you really going to do this to me?
Well, first I want to say I'm so
sorry.
sorry. No need
what
to
do
be
you
sorry.
guys know? What can you tell me? What can I do? I don't know what to do. I'm desperate.
I understand. Of course, absolutely.
And I live in a
Well,
really stupid red state. I do.
yeah. Well, thank you for sharing your heart to us. It is a very hard time right now. No need to apologize. You're our elder, right? Like we have to hear the story of how we got here. And so first off, just thank you for sharing this, because it is a desperate time for a lot of us. And I want to make sure that you are, taken care of, because you have been through so much already. And one of the things like that I would say is, are you connected with any of the local like LGBTQ centers, pride centers, the state like pride centers? Have you reached out to any of them yet?
Oh yes, I have. And
Okay.
what has gotten
Okay.
I can't believe that they've actually kind of thrown me out. Kind of, it's like, it all depends. I live on the border. I have in contact with Idaho and Wyoming. Wyoming has actually thrown me out. Idaho, I went in about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I go, okay, you're doing Pride Dregs Idaho. You pointed over here, priorly, that this is your pride and your, trans part of the room, and it was like a bookshelf. But when I went in there, it was like everything had been pulled off. There is nothing left. They have all capitulated. It's like I don't know what to do when everybody has just capitulated.
Yeah, I would like to know, Nicola, is the issue that you're running into with your medicine, is that the clinic that you're going to has said that they're no longer treating intersex conditions? So you could go to another clinic, and I don't want to just brush that off like it's easy to establish a new primary care physician, but really anyone with a basic knowledge of endocrinology should be able to handle this care. Like, all you need is for your female hormones to be in the female hormone range. It's like menopause.
I got rejected from a clinic in the hospital system in Wyoming last year. I have gone to 3 other places, and then I went in here, and it sounded like they were going to do it, but they've reneged on me. And now it's like, I don't even know where to go. Now, think about this. I was getting care from Montana. Now I've been rejected. I live in Wyoming. Okay, I got thrown out of there because they changed the laws, and actually the doctor there quit and moved to Alaska because she wasn't going to reject all her patients. Most of her nurses quit also. So then I get to Idaho for a while through 2020, or Wyoming through 2024, and then that doctor just quit also. Same thing. I mean, she's only 34 years old. She decided she's not going to practice medicine anymore. And it's like she paid all her medical bills and she quit. She was very, very open and with me.
Yeah.
And then I finally get this thing going here in Idaho. And I don't know whether you know, Idaho is probably one of the most backward states there is. And I think everything's going, and it just backfired yesterday. And
Okay.
I'm
so Nick,
just so distraught. I don't know what to do.
I understand, and I hear it. So there are a couple there are a couple sites that do telehealth. Like there is so if you got a pen, write down these two places, okay? Do you have a pen on you?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. The first one is Plume. It's
I've been with Plume.
PLUME.
They won't take. See, I'm on Medicare. They won't take Medicare, and their problem is it just turns into you just don't get anywhere with them.
Okay, have you tried Folks? That's FOLX Health.
SOLX. No, I have not.
Okay, I would try them. Is there a local Planned Parenthood that is close to you?
No, they closed them all down.
Okay.
I'm also seeing
sorry
one.
to hear that.
I just Googled telehealth hormones Wyoming.
The last one I went to was in Montana, and that was many, many years ago. I think
so. It looks like there are a few that could provide it in Wyoming specifically as well.
Some of these changes, but
yeah.
We're talking 250 miles one way to just go to Montana, and they rejected me.
Yeah.
Back then, what happened was I went in there seeking hormonal care, and I got rejected because they said they would not treat intersex people. See, that's what I started off in the whole thing. It's like, do you understand that it's like, intersex people have been dumped into this, and we don't know what to do.
Yeah, I understand. I understand. So there is another Lux was saying there's another place. Go ahead and say it, Lux.
Yeah, I just Googled telehealth hormones Wyoming, and there's one called True U Clinic. True, and then the letter U Clinic that says specifically it's in Wyoming. I would hope that if you get in touch with any of these places, you know, if they say like we don't help intersex people, I would suggest advocating and saying I don't need anything special. This is just menopause care. Like I just need functionally menopause care to not be taken off this hormones. I wonder sometimes if the runaround, I wonder if the runaround that you're getting is partially just because like our medicine system just doesn't bother to give women hormone therapy. Like obviously there are some risks to taking hormone therapy when you're older. Like it can increase stroke risk, but it would decrease like your risk of osteoporosis and all this. So really I would hope. And like, honestly, if you need to retain some of that information and not disclose all of that information in order to get this healthcare, I don't think that that's necessarily unethical because it's irrelevant. Like whether you were assigned male is irrelevant because your present need is I'm menopausal and I need these hormones. Like you could just say I've had a hysterectomy or whatever, and I think that would be reasonable.
I actually have had
you can just say I've had a hysterectomy and I need menopause care, and it doesn't need to be any more complicated than that.
Yeah, absolutely. I would go with that route as well. I'm sorry that you are dealing with all of this. It breaks my heart to know that you're dealing with this. Don't give up. It is incredibly difficult, but please don't give up. And it is one of the things that, you know, and as trans and intersex folks, like you understand better than most that it's always been a fight to get the healthcare that we need. And I know it's exhausting, but you know, I have faith that you are an incredibly resilient person, that you're going to be able to make it through this. And I just want to say, you know, thank you for calling and sharing your story, because I think these stories are important for us to hear, that this is where we're going through as a community. And, you know, I wish you the best of luck, and I hope that you find the care that you deserve, that you need. But yeah, I wish you, I wish you well.
That I went in and I thought for about 2 or 3 weeks that it was HRT, and kind of as you were saying, but I just want the world, and that's why I called in, because I don't do this. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't subscribe. I don't. I mean, sometimes I'll push the like button, and it's like I feel guilty a lot, because it's like, well, you know, I'm really want to be encouraging and supporting of this, but it's like I'm so scared. I've had death threats. It's like, it just, people don't understand. It's like, in 45 years, I have spent an incredible amount of time. Nobody seemed to care. And then 2017 happened, and all of a sudden, it just got way serious. And I did a lot of things to try to mitigate, to try to avoid. And then we just got January. And it has been hell this year.
It really has.
Anyway, I just want, because this is a transatlantic college show, I want people to understand that this is going beyond transgender.
Yes, absolutely.
This is LGBTQIA. We want to actually eradicate all of you people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just like we want to deport people that we don't like the looks of.
Yep.
Anyway, I'll shut up at this point. I appreciate it.
No,
I'm going to check out.
I appreciate you.
TRU Clinic and see if that gets me anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I know you're on Medicare, but just so you know, estrogen is very cheap. So even if you end up having to pay out of pocket,
it's not the money. I mean,
it's the prescription, right? But like, there are people who buy estrogen without a prescription, and it's not illegal to do that.
Valerate, and it wasn't that expensive. The problem is, can you get a prescription? Can you get a prescription?
So it's if you need to pay out of pocket for one of these online services, but I do know that people do just buy estrogen, and it's not something that you necessarily need a prescription for. It's like, it's called like the gray market, where it's like not illegal in the same way that ordering testosterone without a prescription would be illegal. So I just want you to know that you have lots of options here. And I don't want you to feel hopeless, even if you are being blocked in certain avenues, that there are still other avenues open to you. Like, and if you end up needing that resource, it's if you go and Google DIY HRT, that's what people look for.
Estradiol from Thailand. Wow,
you know then.
I know I completely
you definitely know.
Everything, right? I just want to be legit. I want to use my insurance. And
of course.
It's gotten very expensive to do it.
Yeah.
It's gotten very expensive to do it. Whatever you want to call it way. The DIY way. You know, and and it can be relatively or reasonably priced if I just can get it through Medicare and my insurance. And I don't even think the Republicans and the MAGA are going to be able to outlaw the Medicare part of it. They might. I don't know where they've already kind of blocked Medicaid.
Yeah.
And we'll see how that goes in the next week or a day or so. But
Well, we just beat it in cloture. They're like, so that literally happened today. So it's a good sign that it looks like it's not going to get canceled with Medicare. I work in a policy organization that fights for trans health care and hormone care across the board. So it looks like we're going to be defeating that awful bill. That's some hope for you. Okay.
I hope you win.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you.
I just like you're like the future of hope, and you know,
you're gonna make me cry.
I had a lot more hope on when a very similar representative got elected, and she doesn't seem to understand. She's kind of throwing her own kind under the bus.
Yeah.
She hasn't really supported us, and I think you are I think you're our future. So God bless you.
Thank you.
And I shouldn't even use that word. I say it.
I understand.
That's just an expression. I actually do not believe in God.
Neither do I. But no, I get it. I get the expression. I get the sentiment.
I'm 74 years old, and you can't change what has been going on your entire life. Okay, thank you.
That's fair. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Nicola.
Bye.
Good luck. Best of luck.
Bye. Yeah. Bye-bye.
All right.
Oh my gosh. She was so sweet at the end too. It's so hard. It's my heart so much. So we have 3 more calls. We're gonna try to get through them. So yeah, let's just go ahead and just go down the list. All right, we got MJ, she, they pronoun from PNW. Yeah, you're live on the line on Transatlantic Holland Show. How are you? Talk to us. What do you want to talk about?
I'm doing well. I'd ask you how you're all doing, but I know the answers are already good and tired, so move on from that. But the reason I'm calling in, so a little bit of context. So I'm trans femme, identified as lesbian for years, went to my first lesbian meetup, and of course met a boyfriend there. He's trans.
Of course. Okay.
But in talking with him over the past year or so, we've kind of come to realize there's like this issue of where people's sexual identities don't seem to affect who they're attracted to exactly, in the sense that he's had women that would date him, but see him as a woman and not a man. And I'd had people date me that saw me as a man and not a woman. And it was like, maybe we need to address this. Like, you can't just keep calling yourself a particular term if that term has a meaning, if it's denying your partner's identity. Like, I stopped calling myself a lesbian when we started dating. So, but I don't know. Maybe I'm totally off base with that.
So I am very different than most people on this topic. Partially because like I'm non-binary and I'm in a relationship with a man who is functionally straight. He's not out here like waving the straight flag or something. It's not crazy or anything, but like I don't feel like his sexual identity label or sexual orientation label is like a judgment on me or anything that like, and I've known somebody who at the time she was in a polyamorous dynamic, but like all individual relationships. It was not like a polycule. Her primary relationship at the time was with a cis man, but otherwise she was only interested in dating women. So she identified as a lesbian. And I didn't see a particular problem with that because part of the purpose of these labels is to communicate to people. And what she was communicating was, I am not open to relationships with men. And so I don't think that there's any particular problem with that like, if you can be a non-binary lesbian, like if you can be non-binary and identify as a lesbian, then I don't see why it would be a problem for somebody who primarily identifies as a lesbian to occasionally be attracted to men. And I just had a conversation this week on Chewed Gum about like, oh, if I'm attracted to a feminine man when I usually am a lesbian, like, what is that? And I'm like, well, yeah, I've known lesbians who are like, I would smash a feminine man occasionally. So I just come at this from a much more flexible area where I think like these labels have utility in different contexts, and if it's more beneficial in one context, then then it's kind of whatever. Like if it's benefiting me to identify as a lesbian in this situation, even if actually this, or like I might tell people I'm bi. I don't actually identify as bi, even though technically that does sort of apply to me. I prefer queer. But if I'm rhetorically, for the purposes of communicating to someone, if I'm saying, well, as a bisexual, blah, 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 whatever. It's just about that, whether it's useful or not, as well as whether it feels comfy. So if it feels more comfy to identify as lesbian, even if you occasionally are romantically or sexually interested in men, but like not interested in pursuing that, then like, sure, identify as a lesbian. I'm so tired of the policing that people do in the community with labels.
Right. Well, talking about labels, like I actually don't think there's a term for where my attraction lies, because honestly, where my attraction lies is between, to put it on a simplified spectrum, tomboy to femboy and everything in between those two. Is there a term for that?
I think it's pan or bi.
Yeah, but I'm not interested in the extremes at all. If you're not a mix, it's not going to work.
Scoliosexual. If you're you're attracted to androgynous people, was that what you said?
Essentially, yeah. It could be physical androgyny, energy, whatever. It doesn't really matter where you fall in that kind of mix, but that's what it is.
Yeah, let me double check myself on this. Scoliosexual is a term, SKOLIO. Some people use that to describe being attracted specifically to people who are androgynous or non-binary or transgender. So I don't know. Some people, of course, like some people, like there's controversy of like, is this a term for a fetish or whatever? But it's just, we're trying our best to put the language together in the absence of language that helps us make sense. But if we were to break this down and go like, instead of saying I'm attracted to women, like saying like gynosexual or something, then like, okay, well then in that dynamic, like, okay, scolio in reference to like being attracted to people specifically of non-binary gender, which is a little bit different from saying I'm pansexual, which is like the person's gender doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for me, it's only happened to me one time where I was on a date with a guy, and it was a long time ago, and it was strange because I was like, it was the first time I actually slept with a guy as Josie, and it was like one of those things where I literally said, oh wow, that was the first time I ever had straight sex before. I said that just like that, and he was like, wait, that was straight to you? And I'm like, yeah. And he was just like, and he essentially like completely invalidated me as the person I was, and then he proceeds to tell me that I had to leave because because he was poly, but not really poly. It was like open. It was a really complex guy. I never saw this guy again, obviously. But he basically was like, oh, well, my girlfriend told me that I wasn't really supposed to sleep with women, so I'm here only supposed to sleep with guys. And I'm like, well, why did you sleep with me then? Like, I was just like, it was so gross. I literally, I'm like, I'm not a loophole. Exactly. So I just grabbed my things and then left immediately. I was like, you're gross. I do not like you. But that's the only time that happened to me, where I'm just like, wait, like, you're like an awful human being. Like, I was just like, I regret that one completely after that. So anyways, TMI. It was for me, like, I and this is just on me, is like, whoever I am with needs to see me as a woman, period. There's no way around it.
Right. And so that was the thing about both me and my boyfriend, is we finally were like, hey, this is the first time we've ever been in a relationship where the other person actually sees me for who I am, and not just giving the social level of like, using the right pronouns and all that, but then completely when you get to that, especially the intimate state of things, now we're putting you in that other category because that's what I'm comfortable with.
This is literally why people are T for T. Like, this is literally it.
Right?
It's like you can rely on another trans person most of the time to see you for who and what you are.
Yeah,
that did not actually work in my case at first, but yes.
Yeah.
Trans people can be awful too sometimes. We're allowed a little bit of awfulness as a treat.
Yeah.
I'm certainly putting it out there as it's an exception to the rule, probably.
Exactly. Well, all right. Well, MJ, thank you for sharing. Appreciate the conversation, and we got 2 more calls to get through. So I hope you have a great rest of your day.
You too.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
I guess it's important for people to know that we are not doing Calling It Now. Jimmy and I are both sick. So we were like, can we do it today? And we scheduled it, but we're not doing it. So usually Jimmy and I will do a show after this one on the Jimmy Snow channel, and we're just not doing it today. So I'm just letting you guys know. We had it planned. It was scheduled. We decided to cancel it about 20 minutes ago.
Okay. Yeah. It's because you can't get any shut-eye here. You're expecting to sleep during this show.
See?
And then the insomnia kept you up. I get it. Yeah.
It's gonna be more insomnia time after this show instead of more insomnia time after this show, but me talking.
Yeah, exactly. So we got 2 more. And also, if you have not donated to my campaign yet, what's going on? Why have you done this? This is do you think it's easy? Do you think that people win elections by falling from the sky? This isn't how it works. I need to be supported, and with your support, because I'm going to be doing call time after this, because I need to call for more donos. And if you help me with donations, I don't have to do the calls as long as I have to. So yeah, give me some hope while I make other calls. I need this so my campaign manager can have Christmas. Okay, like you're if you want my campaign manager to have Christmas, I need your support.
People's children are gonna go without if you don't donate.
Yes, that's right.
Just lay it on thick.
Oh my goodness. Just lay it on thick. No, seriously, people's Christmas is at stake right now. Don't be a Grinch. Donate to my campaign. Thank you. All right. So, and also like and subscribe. Got to do that too.
And super chat.
So you can.
So that I can benefit. Because I also would like to make money, but I get to keep the money from super chats, and you get to keep the money from super chats. You don't get to keep any of your campaign money. That's for your staff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's my staff. They get all my hard work, and then
reaping all the benefits.
And that's how I get pieces. Yeah, but I get nice pieces of literature, and it's a trade off. It's a trade off.
Yeah.
Great. And so also don't forget, after we get through these 2 calls, we will be reading super chats at the end, with hashtag Team Josie, hashtag Team Lux, to see who is going to defend the position. And the silly positions are: transphobia is a Schedule 1 drug, make straight femboys illegal, non-binary people must wear jorts, are the 3 positions. And it looks like it's a dead heat between transphobia is a Schedule 1 drug and non-binary people must wear jorts. So make sure you join in on the fun.
The closest poll I've seen in a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very close one. It's a very, very close one. I just think I think they just want to see you in jorts, Lex. Like that's what happens, right? If this deemed the new law, like you're gonna have to
I don't post on there very often, but
well, it looks like the jorts picks are gonna come be on that soon, I guess. All right. Well, we will move on to the next call with Josephine, she, her in California. Josephine, you are live on the line on the Transatlantic Call-In Show. What would you like to talk to us about?
Hi, Lex and Josie. I am calling because I have a small business that I started when I was masculine, and it's like in a really niche and uh, challenging kind of uh, like subculture. I'm a sewing machine mechanic that works on industrial sewing machines, and that, especially since I work on a lot of leatherworking machines and that sort of thing, I'm dealing mostly with bigots, and most of them, nearly all of them, have been incredibly nice to my face. But I'm not trying to be. I live openly as myself. I'm unforgiving of that fact, and or I should say, well, I'm open,
Unapologetic.
and I want to be I want to be able to use my privilege, because it is a pretty privileged situation to have a small business or anything like that, right? To be able to, create safe space and work with queer people and whatnot. But I also get my bread buttered by a lot of these redneck guys. No disrespect to rednecks, love rednecks. And I just, a couple things. One is that dealing with them knowing that they're transphobic. Like, I've had to stop being in touch with these guys during the election. Some of my best customers are, posting this shit, and it's like, and they tell you in subtle ways, or they just treat you differently, but they'll treat other trans people bad, and so it's like, nope, I'm not dealing with that. And I've thought about doing like a bigot charge, just so that I could make it, I'd still make my money, but like maybe disincentivize that. But I digress. So the one thing is the dealing with people in that regard, and then the other is because of what I do, and like the environment we're in, I'm very lefty politically, and kind of outspoken about it. And most people look the other way about that too. But wait, where was I going with that? Give me one sec.
Well, I will.
So,
go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Briefly, yeah. So the thing about it is, like, I'm really plugged in, and most of my clients have no freaking clue what's going on. They either watch one channel of news, or they just are, they abstain from everything they possibly can, and like their worldviews, they're just in a very different place. Like they're planning events a year out, and I'm like, I actually just did one a few months ago where when I first agreed to it, I was like, am I going to be walking free, when I have this commitment, and people also get really upset about like the weird delays and stuff that I've had, because I'm, honestly, I've been really depressed a lot, I thought about hanging it up about 6 months ago after about 5 years. But I decided that I'm just going to dig in further, But I guess I'm just trying to figure out. Sorry. See if you can divine that, and we'll fix any miscommunication.
Yeah, Honestly, it's good to normalize that trans people exist in every community, including business owners at the local shop. It is, I think, incredibly important that you continue to do what you do and serve your community. Obviously, like, it's your business, but, diversifying, putting some things online, trying to go into queer spaces and trying to promote that may be helpful, bringing in a new clientele that is available to you. That type of stuff may be something to think about. But yeah, it is definitely something I have no experience in personally, because you obviously want to make money. And I think that's incredibly important. But normalizing that, if the bigot is buying your products, I don't know what to say. It's just like, it's like, does that normalize it for them? Is that something they're going to talk about to, if their kid comes out as trans, they're going to be like, oh, like the woman over there at that store? Like, I don't,
Yeah.
I don't know. You've created a very niche thing that you may be the only trans person some of these people interact with. I don't think it'd be a good idea to say, oh, I'm going to charge a bigot tax, because that's how you end up on Breitbart. I wouldn't do that.
Mostly in tongue in cheek, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know what I mean. Like, Gays Against Groomers gets a wind of that sign, and now you're shuddering because people are coming and being ridiculous toward you. So there's also that aspect of it. So I'd be right now in this media environment, I don't think people will get the joke. So I don't know, Lux, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I guess it sort of depends on what is the nature of your work. Is it contract work? Like, do you have an ongoing relationship where you just get called in whenever? Because you could hypothetically put a clause in the contract that's like, if it's called like a morality clause, which I was just reading about this with YouTubers when you take sponsorships. Like, if the company ever does something that's outside of the scope of the morality clause, then you can terminate the relationship and remove the ad from your video. So basically, like, you could hypothetically include a morality clause that if the company does something outside of that, then you could either charge them more or break off the contract. But in terms of like just dealing with it on a day-to-day, I'm imagining that there aren't a lot of people who can offer the service that you can offer. Is that right?
Yeah, no, it's in extremely high demand. A lot of people don't, like, in the industry, don't even know where they can access someone like me, and they'll be like, oh, I'm so glad you're doing this. I've been looking for someone for years, blah, blah, blah.
Listen, exploit that then. Like, if you're saying like they will say nasty things about trans people, but then they're really nice to you, it's like, yeah, girl, it's because they need you. And so you can utilize that, and like knowing that if you cancel your contract with them, and they maybe know that too, that if you decide to stop servicing their business, then they will not have someone else to turn to, because that is pretty niche. Like, I know that there are local places I can take my sewing machine to, because vacuum cleaner places can also fix sewing machines. So like smaller scale, but you're talking about like industrial scale leather production, which I'm imagining is stuff like, the leather on car seats and things like that. So it's like bigger scale stuff.
Yeah.
And so I would say, exploit the fact that you have power in that relationship.
Your kind of holsters and so on.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So yeah, I would just say continue reaping the benefits of the fact that these people don't have anyone else to give their business to. And even if they're being nasty about trans people in general, if they're still being nice to you, then, it's kind of whatever, and you're doing your business and you're going to come in and get the job done. And I'm a big fan, I'm like a big proponent of this idea that trans people and queer people, like, one of the most valuable things we can do in our communities right now is demonstrate our value and demonstrate how we are, competent community members who are contributors, who are helpers, who, are trying to continue to have salubrious relationships. If someone has a problem with a trans person, I think one of the most powerful things a trans person can do is be like, okay, and then just kind of not, like, unless it's like a discrimination case, then yes, respond. But to just be like, I'm unbothered by this. You know, you can have your beliefs and that doesn't bother me. As long as you are not impolite directly to my face. And if you're impolite directly to my face, then we have a problem. Then my contract is going to be reviewed. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of different ways you can go with it, but I would just recommend continuing on the way that you are, really, and confront people if it makes sense to, you know, I'm imagining that this is kind of like a tradesman sort of context where you can kind of shoot the shit with the guys. My husband is a tradesman, and so I'm kind of familiar with this. You know, you talk shit on each other a little bit. It's part of the relationship. So, you know, if that kind of scope is possible where you can be like, oh, you're so worried about whether she has a dick, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't know. You can find different ways to play that off situationally. But yeah, I don't know. I would say don't change much about what you're doing unless you want to put a morality clause in.
Yeah. So what's that?
Oh,
she was yawning.
sorry, I was yawning. I know. It's Lux's tiredness. Yeah, we're very sleepy today. Sorry.
Oh, well, I'm a narcoleptic, and honestly, I'd say that part of my business is harder to deal with because people really don't understand when you're behind the times, you know, or you're tired. Like, welcome to capitalism, and it's just, that is a challenge, and it's like when people have a crash out over like something that doesn't go quite right, it's usually that one, you know. But like they kind of end up, and that's the thing too, is like representation wise, I don't want to come across as like trans woman who makes it her whole thing and you know, has every excuse in the book because, oh, you know, I'm a marginalized person or something like that. I mean, don't get me wrong, like I'm barely functioning. I'm getting better about some things and worse about others. I've had a lot of housing and business location insecurity that doesn't have to do with transness, but has more to do with being poor and unlucky, I guess. But it's like, as I try to navigate this, there's aspects of my approach that people are really appreciative of. You know, I'm neurodivergent, so I just have a way of putting things for people and kind of translating and code switching and that sort of thing. And they like that aspect of it, and they just kind of accept, I guess, that I'm wearing hoop earrings and, you know, a skirt or something. But it it's just really tough. Like I wanted to tell, and I've sometimes told customers, you know, because you build a relationship with them. My work is basically reselling, but because I do like custom restoration of mostly vintage industrial sewing machines, like, again, it's like a niche of a niche of a niche.
Very niche.
You know, you know, I don't really know anyone who, I guess I know a couple people online who do something similar to what I do as a profession, but yeah, it's, you know, that's online. You know, and so anyway, but it's like,
well, go ahead.
What's that? Oh, sorry.
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. But yeah, there's been times, you know, I'm kind of prone to oversharing or like not reading the room just right. And I'm like, hey, so I'm going through it right now. Like you wouldn't believe, you know, my car broke down and, you know, they're probably going to round us up or something. It's like, well, I'm not trying to fearmonger, but you get the idea. And all that stuff's in the foreground of my mind. And people are like, yeah, so when's my shit going to be done? You know, and sometimes because of the nature of my work, like, you know, the relationship is an ongoing, like 6-8 months type thing, you know. I have competitors that have been said to take 2 years to do some of this stuff. So like, it's, you know, it's not like they have a whole lot of options, but I also don't want to have like a black mark on my, you know, on my whole profile, because also it's all word of mouth. Like, how do you even advertise for this? You know,
Yeah, big time.
And social media throttles me if I get too political, like massively. So I can't even figure out how to navigate that aside from people's, you know, pleased experiences with, the outcome. But it's also a type of work where it's like, there's not a rule book per se. Like, how do you even deal with a situation when someone buys a machine from Canada and, you had it just right, and now they're saying that, maybe you forgot something or whatever. It's like, okay, well, how am I going to fix that from here? And I do like video conferencing and stuff, but, it's very like by the seat of my pants.
I totally get it. Well, I really appreciate you sharing all that. I will say this though, Josephine. I think what's important too is don't get just lost in your work. Find other community that is outside of your work. I know it sounds like you have a very time-consuming job and it's something that you really enjoy and love to do. But it's also good to have like a friend network that you're able to vent these things to as well that aren't your customers. When you're in customer service, it's definitely tough where you just provide the service and then you just like transaction out the door and then you go on to the next project. I think finding a group of other trans folks I think will do good by you, where you can just like do work at work and then connect with the girlies in another space to kind of vent about the woes of the world. I think would be a really good idea as well, because you don't want to isolate yourself, because then you'll be stuck in a world with just clients, and that's not really a good world to be in, where you're just like literally only interacting with customers. You need to interact with people that aren't in it for the interest of getting a product.
Oh, for sure. And I'm really active in my local community. But the thing, I guess, like, how public should I be about my identity? Like, how open should I be, or should I just like, because like I actually do know other trans women in the sewing machine business. For some reason, it's actually kind of common in a way.
I bet.
But like none of them acknowledge it. Like they're all either stealth or just people are just going to say shit in their comments or whatever, and they don't care, or hopefully they don't care.
It's up to you, honestly. And again, it's like when somebody's just a client coming in and out, like it's one of those things where it's where you're comfortable, and that's just how it goes. You got to get your bag, right? You got to make your money. And it's whatever you feel comfortable doing, honestly. And I wish I had an answer for that, and it's just going to be a comfort level for you, and what keeps you safe is the most important thing. Yeah,
no,
I wish I could have a better answer for you. I'm sorry.
Just keep doing a really good job.
I appreciate your answer. What's that, Lex?
Like the most important thing I think is just to continue doing an excellent job. And if anybody questions you for being slow at it because you have narcolepsy, just say like, listen, you want the job done correctly. I'm going to get the job done correctly the first time. I'm not going to come back and nobody's going to have to come fix my work after I leave. So accept that this is the timeline and then just do a damn fucking good job every time. And honestly, I really think that more trans people should not post publicly about it, in the sense of like, sometimes you do need to just buckle up and focus on your internal shit. Like, especially if you're, if you're already stressed, if you're already dealing with a disability, if you're already dealing with all this, like, not every single person has to be on Instagram telling everybody about their industry and all this. Like, if you want to be out in terms of being public, in terms of your job interpersonally, I think that that's a good thing, because like we were saying, this is all based on word of mouth, and people will be like, oh, well, Josephine is kind of a weird cross-dresser, but does a damn good job. Like, I would accept that if it were me. I'm like, you can say whatever the fuck you want. I don't need you to understand me, but you better be telling people that I do a good job. So yeah, that's my advice.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Josephine, thank you for calling. We really appreciate you.
Thank you. Big fan of you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks. Good luck with the sleep apnea. I have that too. You should look into narcolepsy if you can.
I think that what I have is just a very severely deviated septum, and so I'm gonna try to get a nose job this year to make the breathing happen. So I'm hoping that I don't need a fucking CPAP. That sounds terrible, but thank you so much, Josie.
Yeah.
I wish you luck with everything you're going through as well.
Yeah. All right.
Best of luck.
Bye, friend.
Bye.
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 All right. So
that's it.
On to super chats.
No more calls.
Yes. I'm also
$10 from
dreading
Shiloh. What? Oh, you have to do calls after this?
I was just dreading that I have to do call time for donations because a lot of you in the chat, I'm blaming you, all of you. If I would have just raised a lot of money today, I could have just said I'm not doing it today. But now you guys just made me work longer. I see how it is. I see how it is.
Thank you for $10 from Shiloh, who says, can't watch live today, but have fun, everyone. #team for getting us started early.
Yes. £5 from Mystic Mind Analysis. Don't forget to support your fellow queer communities this holiday season. Not everyone has a home to go back to. #team rights. #humanity first. Agreed. Agreed.
Thank you for $5 from SJL, who says, Lux, I hope you tolerate CPAP as well as I do. If you need it, it's easier for me to get to sleep with it than without. Good luck. #Lux today. Yeah, again, I hope that I'm getting two things. I'm also getting a mattress topper that's going to elevate the head of my bed by 6 inches, so that, because that can help with sleep apnea and also with my POTS and volume of blood and stuff in my body. I have a lot of random little tiny health problems that accumulate into being a very bad time. So I really hope that I don't need to have Darth Vader in my bedroom at night. That would be great.
Yeah, he's kind of a bad guy. $5 from Shigsru. Is it better to up my subscription here on YouTube or sub on Patreon? I want to increase my giving and get most out of the money. My favorite creators, let me know. Patreon,
without a question.
Is the way to do it. Yeah. Yeah.
YouTube takes like 30% of your money when you guys super chat and donate. And like, we appreciate it and it's still good for you to do it, but they do take a big portion of it. So if you're going to decide whether to do one or the other, then Patreon would be the way to go.
Yeah.
Thank you from 50 DKK for NMK Cluster. Am I wrong? Trans women in protected women's divisions is detrimental to the sports and to the general acceptance of trans people. No, I'm not fucking getting into this in the super chats. Thank you for your super chat.
Yeah. £5 from Barbara Barrett. I tried to call but couldn't get through. Even changing browsers didn't work. #Team Lux. Apparently, our call-in studio broke with the web caller, so it wasn't your fault, and I would have loved to hear from you.
Sorry, everybody. $5 from Furigeist, who says, #Team Josie, you remind me of my auntie, and that's a good thing. See, look at that. You are fully in your Tia phase.
I am in my Tia phase. Yep, that's the way it goes. I gave my nieces and nephews too much for Christmas. I learned how to budget over the last 3 years, and I actually am
you have money now,
nearly out of complete debt, and I'm completely out of debt except for student loans. And now I have money, and now I'm just like, oh man, I have to buy mountains of gifts and bring them in to my family now.
You're the child free aunt who just has all this disposable income.
Yeah exactly. Oh my gosh. $5 from Alishana Silverbow. Did you hear that Walmart is giving away dead batteries for the holidays? They're free of charge. #happy holidays. #Team Josie. That one's a good one.
Hell yeah.
That one's a good one.
Thank you for 20 Canadian from David Haxor, #Team Ben. Cheers.
Yeah. Team Ben. $5 from Joshua Everett, 9887. Hello, friends. Really stressful day at work today. Thanks for keeping me calm today. I'm at hashtag Future President Josie today. All right, let's go. And Joshua, I know you're a donor. Thank you.
Hell yeah. Thank you for $10 from Sapphic Hazard, who says, I hold it true that the smiles of newly affirmed trans people are the best thing in the world. It's not even close. Hell yes. Being able to give somebody that, like using their name for the first time or affirming their gender for the first time, it's a beautiful thing.
$4.99 from Ashray84. Work is preventing me from chatting, but I always love this trio, really. Okay. I guess it is Arden. Arden is in the background. Hashtag Team Lux, because I feel like I feel like it needs extra love this week.
Yeah. That's fucking true.
Really, what Lux needs is sleep, but we can't deliver that.
I know. It's so sad. Thank you for $19.99 from Snardfluck. Louise Richardson says, 100 yards away at my father's funeral, I waited until it was over to approach the gravesite. Cousins called me over as they left and we reconnected. I was at my mother's and aunt's services years later. I'm glad you were able to reconnect with your family. That's important.
Yeah. That is important. $4.99 from Bram Lacey X. It's never too late. I'm 45 and just started last year. Hashtag Team Josie. That's right.
Yep.
Never too late.
Thank you for $10 from Trend Vendor, who says, I transitioned when I was 35. I'm now 39 and happy I can be myself. I've heard people who transitioned in their 60s, so it's never too late to be your true self. Hashtag Team Josie. True. There's always time.
It's true. True. $5 from @EB334 reminds me of a few months ago when Lux said it does their nails, but in like a boy way, and something in my little non-binary head clicked. Yeah.
It's true. When I paint my nails, I'm like, why do I feel like such a cunty boy right now? Like, it's not girl gender. It's very explicitly something. Like, I used to be so jealous of Brian David Gilbert and like other men that I would see with painted nails because I felt like I couldn't. And then I was like, okay, I'm just going to do this occasionally and it's going to be fine. So hell yeah.
Yeah.
$10 from Joshua Everett, who says, like, subscribe, join, patronize, do unlegal, but not too many. Say hi to every cat you pass by. Act like every bigot is the worst smelling person you've ever met and be loud about it. Hashtag Team Josie. So much enthusiasm
That's
there.
really good. I do love act like every bigot's the worst smelling person you've ever met. That's great. I love that so much.
That is the best thing I've ever heard. Now I'm just gonna start gagging whenever I walk by someone with a MAGA hat and be like, oh my God, do you smell that? What the fuck?
Yeah, that's so funny.
That is so good. Oh my God. See, that's a donor right there. Coming up with great things. $5 from Alishana Silverbow. I'm off to go have my mouth tortured by a dentist, but one more hashtag Team Josie for the road. How does a sheep say Merry Christmas? Feliz Navidad. It's a good one too.
It's a good one.
The Christmas puns, they're great.
Yeah. I cannot wait until Monday. I love doing shows with Erica because she gets so mad and you all do so many great puns. It's great.
Yeah.
Thank you for $10 from Green Man Dave, who says, oh my God, you're referencing another song that I don't know. Don't give up because you have friends. Don't give up. You're not beaten yet. Don't give up. I know you can make it good. Peter Gabriel. Hashtag Team Josie for Maryland. Indeed.
Yeah. Thank you. $5 from BBB Bunny 1982. I love you two so much. Y'all and Dr. Ben are my absolute fave. I'll have to watch the rest later. Date night with girlfriend takes preference. Hashtag Josie. Yay. Totally get it.
The Arden shade.
Date night is important. Yeah.
It's okay. You can trade me. It's good.
$5 from Mr. Briqua 10 says, missed the show. Work decided it wanted me to be super busy with no rest. Hope y'all had a better day than I. Be well, everyone. Hashtag Keeper of the Void. I will. I'll go get him. I'll find him. I think I just heard him.
Yeah. My dog Annie is so pissed that I haven't walked her yet. My partner, she's out and haven't walked her yet.
He's eating. Sorry, I'm not going to pick him up while he's eating. That would be rude.
That's fair.
I'm going to be limited to whoever is covered by my insurance, but thank you for the several people who tried to recommend me a surgeon specifically. It's like, I'm just, sorry, I got to go get evaluated. I probably need like a full septorhinoplasty because it's up here in the top of my nose too. It's pretty fucked up. You guys never see me from this angle, but can you see how crooked my nose is? It's crazy.
Yeah, I get it. I had a crooked nose before. Still is. Sometimes it just never gets fixed, Lux, no matter how many needles and scalpels are involved. $10 from Bobtail Trucker. Gonna Stand Wellness on YouTube. Does deviated septums all the time. Hashtag Team Lux. $5 from Bradley Ray Trox says Lux dies of coughing.
I'm okay.
Lux, for what it's worth, the Kappa is not super loud. Oh, the CPAP, there it is. It's not super loud, and if you're a heavy sleeper like me, it's no big deal. Hashtag Team Lux, get the jorts.
Okay, so here's the thing. So right now I have to sleep with one of these stupid fucking things on my nose.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know if everybody else feels this, because like, you know how most of the sex that you have happens in bed at nighttime? I don't really feel like it would be very sexy to have a CPAP. So I'm like, I really would like to avoid that as much as possible. But thank you everybody for your kind words.
It's not required to wear the CPAP during sex. Like,
well, I'm just,
you could put it on
initiating
after.
phase. Even the initiating phase, like, you with your fucking Darth Vader face.
It's like
I don't.
It's like CPAP machine. It literally says in instructions, must wear during sex.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for 5 Canadian from Lee Auerbach, who says, look into nasal cones for help breathing with a deviated septum. They aren't a good long-term solution, but they may be a good temp option. Hashtag Team Lux. I do have a piece of plastic that's molded specifically for the purpose to like go up in my nose like this. And then it kind of just is like a little septum ring right here. Not the most comfortable thing, but yeah, I do rotate between that and the weird little sticker on my face. And it doesn't completely solve the problem. So
you're making me really love the fact that I got a septoplasty. Anyways.
I'll have to ask you guys who've had face surgery, like, because I've never done surgery before and I don't know what the recovery. You can't sleep on your side after you recover because your nose could get pressed in the pillow, and I'm like, fuck. It's terrible.
No, can't. It is terrible. I hated it.
I will say, though,
hated it so much.
When you're that messed up from intense face surgery,
that's true.
You kind of
They're
just
giving you good drugs
any chance you can. Like,
yeah,
I was like propped up on pillows and like halfway unconscious for like 3 days. And the second it was time for bed, I was like, okay, and just like fell asleep. So
yeah, that's true. That is a very real thing.
All right, so wow, it was just a second ago. It was non-binary people should wear jorts, and now it's telling me transphobia as a Schedule 1 drug is the winner. So,
ooh,
it's so close.
I think at the moment
I see 35-35.
Yeah, and I think at the moment we got the last vote, it was non-binary people wearing jorts. So that might. I think I'm gonna call.
Are you rigging the vote right now?
I'm rigging the vote. That's true.
That's what you do. That's what it's very in character. So
listen, elections are fake anyway. All right, are we ready?
I am so ready. You guys aren't ready.
Charging up the clock in 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so speaking of Brian David Gilbert, I don't know if anybody ever watched Brian David Gilbert's video about jorts, but they're magical. Also, if you watch Mythical Kitchen, you know Josh is out here rocking the jorts. Why are we letting these cis men have this area of fashion? We're not talking about Daisy Dukes, by the way. I want to be completely clear that Daisy Dukes and jorts are two different things. Jorts are longer, they're fitting looser. It's more like what you imagine like a middle-aged butch lesbian wearing, you know, like with that kind of little bagginess. So jorts, non-binary people, listen, we are so good at transgressing dumb fuck like fashion things. Like non-binary people are always wearing like the weirdest stuff. We've popularized mullets again, like all kinds of these weird things. And so yeah, of course, non-binary people must wear jorts. Jorts are the non-binary of pants. Okay, I'm not going to explain that. You can figure it out. I'm not going to say furthermore that nobody should wear underwear also, but that is an option. Get the friction from the jorts. Everybody loves that. There's not such a thing as a bad thing with friction and jorts. Zippers are perfect. You need the zipper contact. It's your favorite thing. Man, and they also have to have that they have to be like folded up just at least the once on the bottom cuff so that there's like 2 inches of like the inside color of the jorts. Listen, they're comfy. You get out there, you do your Captain Morgan stance, and lots of things are implied. Like, come on, it's fashion, it's chic, it's non-binary, it's queer, it's the best, it's the friction. Wishing to be the friction in your jeans, as the Fall Out Boy song goes. And you all know that you want to be Fall Out Boy. Okay? So, in summary, non-binary people must wear jorts. And I will definitely be following this rule and not breaking it.
Yeah, definitely. And my question is, though, what about binary people? Can they wear jorts? Or are they banned from wearing jorts? Not allowed anymore? Dang.
Yep.
That's tough. It's okay. Non-binary people need ownership of something. I guess we can just let you have that one.
Yeah. And single syllabic noun names are also for us, and nobody else is allowed to have them. So moss.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But what about like Raven? I know so many non-binary Ravens. Like,
you can
know
whoever. That's so Raven.
Okay,
you can do it if you want to.
Okay, I guess. All right, fair.
Plugs,
I guess that's
socks,
how that works.
All non-binary names.
Socks. Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
Definitely a non-binary name. Lee, definitely one. Yeah, yeah. I know a lot of Lee non-binary people. Yeah.
Yep.
You just opened my world. Even though Luxander doesn't sound very monosyllabic.
Yeah, well, I changed my name when I was 18, so there.
Oh,
it's before all of these new kind of things started to erupt, and I'm using the name Moss in some places now. So yeah.
Oh, right, that is true.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow, you're just opening up my world. I had no idea that this is what it's been the whole time, and it makes so much sense. Yeah. Sure. Okay.
Well, thanks everybody.
Awesome. Thanks everyone.
LineCon this weekend is free.
Yes, it's free. It's free and Patreon. And get ready to buy some Christmas mugs. You got to buy these mugs. They're coming up soon. It's so exciting. And also donate to my campaign.
Yeah.
Donate to my campaign.
Also line merch.
Because I'm going to be making phone calls. Line merch, Patreon, subscribe, like, all of the things. Because you're awesome. Bye, friends.
Love you. Bye.